What is going on, All-Terrain Nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, it does not matter what you drive because this is your All-Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd. And what is going on, everybody? We're trying to shake things up a little bit today. Do the live Fridays, or I've been trying to do the live Fridays, get these going again. Life has been super, super hectic, and it's just kind of made it damn near impossible to do the live Fridays. So, welcome if you're new to the channel. Welcome back if you're not new to the channel. But guys, once again, I always say this, and it means a lot when you do it. Smash the like button. It just helps people find the channel, and I greatly appreciate that. And after that, if I get your subscription, I do. If not, so be it. So we've got a lot to talk about today, and I want to get into a couple things. First, I want to say, once again, thank you to Tommy of TFL for joining the show this past Monday for the live Bronco shows. A lot of cool insight with that guy, man, and a very impressive person, and it was nice to talk to. And generally, everybody we have on here is just like a class act for one, but just somebody in the industry that I respect. So, we've got a good show coming up Monday. We've got our Bronco Life will be on the show. If you don't know, they're pretty big on Instagram. They broke a couple videos on the Bronco for Monday's Bronco Live shows. They'll be on Monday, and then 2 weeks. I can't remember the channel. We got another channel coming up for all Bronco. The Monday shows are always Bronco related. So, but I think I've got 3 weeks of guests planned for the Bronco shows. So you guys are going to have a lot of fun with that. But what is going on? It's Friday. Hopefully it's not raining in your part of the world. I'm looking outside right now. It's looking a little gloomy. But hey, man, that's what it's all about, right? It's about, just going with the punches, just taking what you can. And, you look outside and you're like, well, I want to do car and truck things today, but just as soon as it's one of those things as soon as you get your tools out, you know what's going to happen, right? That's when it rains. You put the tools up, the rain goes away, but you bring the tools out, and and I've got a lift. I don't have it up here with me. I've got a lift to put on the old Jeep, so we got some of that coming on, and I've got a lot of things I need to do. Frankly, it's getting close to my event, and if you don't know, I run a Nissan event in Windrock Park in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, basically, and I'm taking the Jeep. It's gonna be funny. It's the last Nissan event I do that I personally do, and Andy, thank you so much for that, dude. But it's the last Nissan event that I'm gonna do, and I'll attend Nissan events. There's a Titan event that's going on in a couple weeks that I did on one of the first videos I dropped on this channel was a Cherokee Titan. It was a killer Titan. A veterinarian and her husband put this Titan together to show Titan, and sadly he passed away this past year. And but I was so happy I got to know Nathan and them a little bit. And Cherokee usually does this Titan event that they do in East Tennessee sometime in August. If I had more information, I'd throw it up here before you. But thanks, Andy, for that $4.99 super chat, guys. Those always go a long way in helping the channel. And honestly, they help the channel grow in many, many ways. And I sound silly to say this, but the stuff like that's helped me buy a better camera. Stuff like that is honestly some of the product reviews and stuff that we plan on doing. So, but anyway, so yeah, my August, I don't know about you guys, but my August is getting to be, you always think, man, I've got all summer to do everything I want to do. And I'm going to do car things. I'm going to go to events and stuff. And of course we still live in a world that's kind of crazy. I don't care what your beliefs are on it, positive, negative, that's your beliefs. And, I'm not going to tell you mine, but we're living in a crazy world right now. So it's still like iffy to whether a lot of cool, fun things can happen. And the auto show world, Chicago Auto Show was the last one I got to cover in 2020. And then the world kind of just fell to shit. And what it was, I had plans on doing the New York Auto Show last year and hopefully the LA Auto Show. Well, this year I'd planned on doing the Chicago Auto Show, but it was a little sketchy. The event organizers, it was in Chicago, so the event organizers were they're dealing with a state that's probably a little more hardcore than me in the South. Tennessee's pretty wide open. But I was going to do some product testing, or not testing, some product reviews up there, and well, they set the tone of, hey, to do any kind of walkarounds on individual cars, you got to get permission from the manufacturers. They got to be in small groups. You got to set up certain times. And I was like, you know what? What's up, Frank B? I was like, you know what? That's not for me. I don't want or need a manufacturer. I mean, I appreciate all the manufacturers I get to deal with, but I don't want or need them to hold my hand around the car. And it's not fair to you guys, because clearly if you subscribe to the channel, you kind of like how I do things, hopefully. Though this channel has not got to see me cover an auto show yet. The Nissan Nation production side, I covered some stuff like this. But for this channel, it was going to be new, and I was just like, I can't have a guy basically influencing me on what I either think great or otherwise about some of these cars. So I thought I'll put it off. And New York is coming up, and I believe everybody should drive trucks. Hell yeah, jolly. But I thought, okay, New York is coming up. It's New York City. I'm a little iffy on that, but I thought, okay, I'll try to do that one. Well, it came out this past week that the New York Auto Show has been canceled. And the worst part about it, it was canceled 2 weeks before the event. That's right. So press days are usually a couple days before they let the general public in. And, well, you know, New York is what it is. And they've canceled that event. And, damn it, it's another one. Now, I decided over a month ago that I wasn't going to cover this one, but I have some colleagues, my buddies over at Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, Tim Esterthal, buddies over at TFL. Like, there was things to cover. For this channel, even though we're truck heavy, the Nissan Z was going to be revealed. They're going to do it at ZCon out in Colorado, which is I could fuss about that, but you deal with these ZCons, man. It's a bunch of 60-year-old guys that act like they're the only ones that buy Zs. But they did a nice job. I will say they did a nice job when they did the Proto Z around this time last year at Nissan HQ. They did this little drive-in thing, had a nice Adam Corolla, and a few people were there. A few notable people were there, and it was fun. I went and covered it, and I had a blast. I've got my friends over at Z1 Offroad, Z1 Motorsports over there. They're Nissan heavy, but that I always love to go see and check out what they're building or doing. But yeah, the auto shows are about to, I think, all go away. And, you know, even before the pandemic, auto shows, their futures was a little iffy because manufacturers had started not throwing the money that they were throwing at it. Usually the big daddy of them all is the Detroit Auto Show. This year, it's outside. It's, I don't know. I've had opportunities. I've had some people within a certain manufacturer offered for me to come up. They're like, hey man, you know, use our office space, whatever you need to use. We're here for you to help you grow your channel and cover this thing. And I'll actually be in Detroit in 2 weeks. I'm going to do a review on the first gen, or the first edition Ford Bronco. So look forward to that coming out. But so I'm going up there for that. And I thought, maybe Detroit would be fun. I've got family up there. But I think you're going to see it go away too. I think it's usually a particular political party that seems to lock down before the other ones do. And once again, I don't care about your politics. I really don't. I'm a pretty middle of the ground guy. I'm just going by what I've seen in the past, what happened in 2020. So I have a feeling that one's going to go away, and I don't know that a lot of them come back. The Chicago Auto Show this year, probably for what it was a pretty big event. But a lot of manufacturers like Toyota is just doing in-house stuff. Toyota has a hell of a place in Texas. Their HQ is, they have a spread out there where it's very intimate. They can have the cars set up how they want to have it. They have full control over it. They don't have to bow down to some auto show. And I think you're going to see a lot more of that. I wish Nissan would do that here, because Nissan, you guys know, is my local, you know, in my backyard. I wish they would do that. I could cover them a little more. Not that they have a ton of exciting stuff right now to cover. But anyway, so New York Auto Show has been canceled. I don't know. I plan on doing a live stream of the Nissan Z when they drop that. Nissan's not released anything press wise of how they're going to handle that. So I once again, I know this is a truck heavy show, but I do want to cover everything. And cheers, by the way. But I do want to be able to cover everything. I'd like to see a Lamborghini in the driveway one day, and they say, "Hey, Dave, give us your opinion." So never limit yourself, guys, I guess is what I'm saying. But so if New York Auto Show is canceled, it's almost certain that LA Auto Show in November is going to be canceled. And I'm hoping I'm supposed to go on a press trip to Texas. The Texas Rider Association, they do a nice event with it would be trucks in the fall, and I'm hoping to get maybe my first drive with the Frontier, maybe a TRX in there, get some fun stuff for the channel. But anyways, it is what it is. But let's see, we got Jolly Ripper on here, so they don't bug me to borrow mine when they're having to haul something. All right. Oh, thank you, Jolly. It says your experience and knowledge are always a welcome in my book. And no lockdowns, don't believe the hype. I just go, hey, man, we're here in Middle Tennessee that we think everybody's crazy. You know, we're a strange breed here, man. We got more and more people moving in from California, and it's getting nutty. But you know what? I like chaos. I really do. And I mean, obviously, you've seen the channel. Like, I really give two Fs about if I'm going to rip a manufacturer up, I'm going to do it. And I hope that's why you guys like my honesty. But it won't make friends within the community, I can tell you that. But, hey, man, so be it. But what did you guys think of old Tommy being on the show the other day? I felt really bad because I didn't get a chance to – I was having such a good conversation. And I'll say this conversation was so good. I did 2 hours live with you guys. I did about 30 minutes before that, prepping the show with Tommy. 2 hours live with you guys. And then I think me and Tommy talked privately for another hour and a half. Like, I should have it would have been a 4-hour live stream. I think some of you guys would have been like, what this guy's doing, man? This guy's crazy. But I had such a good time talking to Tommy. And it was a surprise because I've not, once again, like I said in an interview, I had not met Tommy. And so my opinion of some of the things TFL does is like, it's not me. It's not my channel. So who am I to say? But the Gauntlet, stuff like that. Initially, I like some of that stuff, but I think it's just getting to be like, okay, I get it. You know, and I know they got in some hot water with overheating a particular vehicle. But once again, that's their channel, and they do a damn good job at what they do. So who am I to say, you know, I'm going to run my channel how I see fit, and those guys, they've been doing it for 10 years, man. Who am I to say? Just like my buddy over at Pickup Trucks and SUV Talk, man. Like we all have these different styles, and I think it's what draws everybody to these channels. Let's see. Come to New Jersey, and you'll see the chaos. No, I have zero. Jolly, that's one state. I've been thinking, this is a good thing. I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about doing a telethon of sorts. And I know this sounds cheesy, but of taking the Gladiator, and let me you guys know what you guys think. So try to do some like little not GoFundMe, but just basically here super chats or whatever one night. Like I stream for like stupidly 8 hours just to see how many like fun chats I can do. But I was thinking about driving the Gladiator to LA to go see Dan and back. Just like a completely stupid trip. It would take probably about 12 days to do what I'd like to do. And just filming the whole way, vlogging with you guys, having fun, doing live chats with you guys. And I like doing stupid trips. I mean, my buddy JR, it's not on his channel, man. I got to get some of those old classic NMP videos over here. But we went to Florida in the midst of COVID, man, to pick up his truck, man. And he's like, he knows if he goes, hey, Dave, I got somewhere to go. It's a great distance. He's like, you want to do it? He knows I'm going to be like, yes, I will be your co-pilot. Me and my buddy JR, who I need to have on here sometime. We drove from Nashville, Tennessee to Denver, Colorado in 17 hours straight. And we left at noon. And literally I was going through Kansas, early Colorado, watching the sunrise. I watched it set. I watched the sunrise. And I just like doing stupid stuff like that. So anyways, that's down the road. I also have a stupid live stream that I'm going to do where I'm planning on camping in the Gladiator. And when I mean camping in it, I mean driving it in my backyard, And from sundown to sun up, I'm stuck in that thing. Maybe bathroom breaks. But my entertainment's going to be from in there. I'm going to live stream the thing. I have a lot of stupid ideas like this, so you guys let me know what you think about that. But so today, let's get into a couple things. I've got a couple of things, products that I've bought recently that I kind of want to get into. And if you're, let me pull up the old gram, because I got some good pictures over there on this. But if you, there we go. If you are over on the Instagrams with me, got to check me out a little bit. Let's see. All right, so let me. You guys know, I'm all about last minute. There we go. All right, so here's the old Instagram, guys. If you're on there, I know every social media is not for everybody, but Instagram seems to be my favorite. I like to interact there. You can see my cat and all the stuff being crazy. I was trying to edit a video the other night, and the cat was in the way. I got my race to 4,000 subs, which we are at 40 or 39, 47, something like that right now. But let's go into some of the pictures. And right here, Gear of America, and I have that box right here. Man, this stuff's heavy. So old Gear, there's the old Gear of America box, and I stumbled across. I'm always looking for not new companies, but companies that just make a quality product. And by the way, this is not they didn't send me anything. I didn't ask them for anything. This is literally just me liking a product that I found and was like, hey man, I want to showcase this a little bit. So I bought these shackles. First off, I got these bad boys right here. So if you can see these heavy bastards. Shackles are one of those things you do not want. You don't want to go cheap on an off-road shackle. There's a lot of cheap Chinese ones made out there that claim to be, 60, 70,000 pounds. But I'm always weary of that stuff. But you want a little style in your shackle. But these bastards are heavy, man, and they're the coating on them is super nice. They have a bunch of cool colors. So I bought these. They were on Amazon. I want to say it was like $50 or something like that. Shackles aren't cheap, especially good shackles aren't cheap. But I wish there was I could weigh these, put them right in your, where we could weigh them together or something. But they don't come with a sound deadening clip for that price. So let's take that off there. These little vibration rings, well worth it in my opinion. But so there you go. GR is for Gear America, if you want playing along. And I could have, and I said this in my Instagram post, I could have put a paid link up there where I get a kickback from Amazon for Amazon Associates for this stuff. But I didn't even want to do that because I really like this company, and I try not to just blatantly make money off you guys if I, I mean, yes, there'd be t-shirts and stuff and all that, but I just like to kind of, if I'm going to do a product review that I'm just buying, I just want to showcase it. But so the shackle was, let me look it up. I need to look it up because I should not tell you guys and not have the exact price. Let's see. There's one of them. Okay, so the isolators were $18.60 with shipping. And, oh, there they are. $54.82 for that shackle right there. And I kid you not, it sounds trivial, but a good shackle is hard to find. And one that just kind of looks cool, too. I'm not going to lie. They just kind of look neat. So these have been on the front of the Gladiator. But, because I could do recovery with that. I don't have a winch on the Gladiator just yet. But that's when I also bought these, because I had an old Harbor Freight rear shackle point, and the damn thing was, back in the day, it was like $10. It's just, and when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, it's done me well. But that's when I picked this up. So and the packaging, let me do this real quick. Let's throw you to the side here, and let me stick with the camera there. All right, so there's the camera. So we'll open this up together. This is the rear recovery point that I picked up, And as you can see, it's kind of hard with the black light. See, there we go. That should help. Same. You're getting the same beefy shackle, if you can see, but with a nice recovery area with in the hitch. God, I'm going blank. Slide it right in the hitch. You can turn it any way. As you can see the hole there. You want to turn it this way, which means if you like your recovery points to be like this, you can do that. So any kind of side pulls, if you're pulling from the side, it kind of turns with it. Where if you're like this direction is just really for straightaway recovery pulls. Because you don't want to be pulling crazily, because you can break these things. But super quality. Once again, the I don't know if it shows very well, but the coating on these things is super nice. And once again, I've seen some. You go to Harbor Freight and you get some of this stuff, and the coating, you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. But it just doesn't hold up very well. And it comes with the pins and all that. But one of the cool things is, I like this a lot because I said it on the last show, was I had a daughter pass away to leukemia. And 10% goes to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which is part of a network. My daughter was at Vanderbilt Hospital in Nashville. But this St. Jude's, they send all the research and stuff out, and they share it. It's like a children's network deal children's hospital network deal where they share all the information with these hospitals. But I mean, you get you get stickers, blah blah blah. Who cares about that? But a little nice thank you thing, and it looks like it comes with a little talks about the warranty. They make straps and stuff, which I like this company so much. I would like to work with them, but I like this company so much that I would just buy their products anyways. So once again, this here was, let me research the price on you real quick, because I'm a bad host. I forget how much I just said it was. This one here was $61.31. They show once again, they show this bad boy in some of their advertisements in different colors. I could never find it, because I would have liked to had it just match the red. It's just stupid. It doesn't really matter, but I would have liked to had it match the fronts, just because why not? But I'm really impressed with their products. Once again, it's Gear of America, and go check them out, guys. If you need any kind of recovery gear, once again, I'm not making a penny off this stuff. I'm not trying to make a penny off this stuff. I'm just giving you an honest, unbiased review, and I've used a ton of this kind of gear. And I've broken some of this kind of gear, but Gear America, there's other brands out there. I'm sure they're all just as great. But for me, once again, I like dealing with a company that I don't know. I just like dealing with the company. I don't know where they're probably actually made. Who knows? They're probably actually made in China. But to their specifications, they look great. And they're always in the off-road community, too. They're going to be at the Jeep event, the Great Smoky Mountain something, blah, 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 this month. Well, I think it's next week in My Living Hell of East Tennessee. I can't even think today. But the Smoky Mountains, basically, all the or Dolly World or whatever. I don't know. It's so much My Living Hell, I don't even want to remember it. But what's going on, man? Let's come. SAW says, come back to the NNP. Me and Danny were talking about the SAWC, and I think, unfortunately, that the NNP's days are numbered. Danny doesn't have the time to devote to that in his own personal channel, plus his race team. I would rather not just talk Nissan, so let's turn that off. So we've got that going on. But dude, I'm covering Nissan here. I'm covering everything. So if there's and let me know in the comments, guys, if there's a brand you want me to look at. I know we've been Bronco heavy and Frontier heavy, but these are the couple exciting things right now. But let me know in the comments. Future Sean, who I believe I've been talking with privately on our Facebook group or Facebook page or Instagram one. Dave, I get to drive the C8 next week. My dad is letting me drive it from the dealership to his house, only for him to sell it the next day. I'm going to guess I'm going to be very depressed after I drive it. So Sean, my buddy there, has a GT500 on order. He's been waiting for that. His dad somehow like ordered. Sean was at 3 C8s, was smart enough to do 3 pre-orders, and has flipped every one of them. And why not on that? Especially, I know we talked a little bit about this with the Broncos, and some of that sucks because there's 190,000 orders. So getting one is a special deal. But like C8, I don't know how many Corvette plans on building a year, but it's not 190,000. So it is definitely a special car. And if you can get one to flip it, man, more power to you, because I think around the average price is around 88,000, something like that. And these guys are selling it for $120,000, $140,000 in some cases, and man, it's crazy. I mean, I would, if somebody, I hate to say it, probably with my Bronco, if it came in and I drove it for say a month, I had it, and just didn't feel like it was going to get the attention I thought it deserved. I don't know, man, it might be tempting. Ben says Bronco was built yesterday, waiting for delivery now. Hell yeah, Ben. Congratulations, sir. My buddy with Lifestyle Off-Road, his Bronco's been built since the middle of July, and it's stuck in Kansas right now on a rail, and he lives in Iowa. So he's just been waiting for that thing to get off the rails so he can get his. I was hoping to do a silly trip to go review that one. He's got a black diamond. But nonetheless, I think I'll be in Detroit when he actually probably gets his. But I'll see it. I've got a bunch of Bronco reviews coming up, man. So we've got the first edition coming up. I want to say I've got an Outer Banks coming up that I'm supposed to go review. With I believe it has the 2.3, which I'm really excited by that. I'm buying a 2.7, and the first edition that I'll review has the 2.7. But I'm curious about that 2.3, man. How peppy really, is it? Doug DeMuro had one on his channel yesterday. He dropped. I'm sure it's already over 15 million views or whatever. But he had a Badlands with non-Sasquatch, because after talking with Tommy, I believe that they don't want a lot of these Sasquatches out there on the road for. I'm sure they drive nice, but 35s, man, it's lifted tall. It's not going to handle as nice as a Corvette or something would. And so I think a lot of the press stuff they're doing, they want the, especially with somebody like Doug DeMuro, who has over 5 million subs, something like that. The dude has a large swath of fans that I think they want the best they can do. And the funny thing about Doug was he didn't look for any flaws. Now, that's not really, I guess, his channel either. He doesn't really just kind of try to find these flaws. He's more about just review the car and we'll move on to the next one. But I was kind of disappointed in his video that he did not look at any of the tops. And granted, these press cars, they should be the cream of the crop. Like, they should not have any of these issues with the rattling and all that some of these other ones are doing. But if they do, so be it. Oh, man, my Monster. Number 2 today. Feeling peppy. But, so, it was interesting this week, too, that Tommy and them dropped over at TFL Off-Road. They dropped a video of their riding and some issues they're having with their Bronco. And if you don't know, they got a first edition. And the top was rattling. And then I've had a couple people over the past week who heard us talking about that a little bit in some of the videos, and reached out to me and said, hey, mine's doing the exact same thing. And I got to thinking about it, and I was talking with, I can't think of who I was talking to last night privately, and we were discussing this a little bit, and I think some of the problem is, Ford's bragged a lot about the open air experience. Oh, we don't have the crossbar. It's not in your way, which I didn't realize was such a problem for people, but I guess it was. But knowing where my Freedom panels on my Jeep mount, they mount with that crossbar, and I think it makes a more solid spot for these tops to mount to, versus that open air. They're all like locking together like Legos of sorts, and I kind of have a feeling these tops, the stuff will vibrate, and the tops are definitely going to do this, even though they're like 6 or 8 points mounted. The backs are. The bodies shift, and it's not rigid like a car or normal truck would be. And I have a feeling that open air experience is where they're getting those tops sandwiched together, and there's just nothing solid for them. And you've got like a T. So, pardon my pardon my thing here. Let's go to the side here. I think I can get you a better understanding here. All right, so the tops mount like this. So this is we'll say this is the back and these are the front panels. And one panel sandwiches on top of the other one to kind of make it rigid, and then they lock into the back roof. Well, on the 2 doors. On the 4 doors, you have another. It's a whole nother equation because you got the panel here, and then you got the solid point. And I think what's happening is this little area here is where you're getting a lot of flex, and it's just causing to some of that vibration. And I think it's just going to be a trait of the Bronco, honestly, until Ford or whoever they figured out the engineering of exactly why. But I think that that's going to be just, you have to deal with it. And trust me, man, Jeeps, I don't care, the new ones, old ones, you start off-roading them a little bit and you beating them up just a little bit, and they're all going to rattle. And Doug did say this in his video of, there was some, for what you're paying for some of this stuff, some of the stuff should be nicer quality. And I agree. You get into $65,000 for those first editions, or just the wild tracks, the decked out wild tracks. Some material should be a lot nicer, but I just would have thought this. I would have thought that this rattle would have popped up a little sooner. But let me know what you guys think. Let me see what your comments are. No team cheap. Okay, I've lost you on that one. YouTube. Let's see. Bronco was built yesterday, waiting on delivery now. Ben said. Let's see. Future Sean says his is numero uno at the dealership on a Z06, which he will keep. I don't blame you there. Jack Bauer says, of course, he's protecting us all. Because they drive as bad as the Jeep with 35s. Yes, I would agree with that. And especially you let some of these 35s get out of balance. Oh, man, you're going to get it's not going to have the death wobble by any means, but it's going to be a little sketchy at times. Ben says he's got a Badlands and Cactus Gray, no Sasquatch, because he wanted the manual. And Ben, did you see that Ford has been testing? Let's see if I can pull that up real quick. We can look at this. And this isn't a Bronco show per se, but I know you guys love talking Bronco. Mr. Mike Levine is out in they're out in the Rubicon right now, and they're having some fun. Let's once again. There we go. So they're out there. It looks like a Sasquatch, right? Badlands. And the cool thing about this is he's showing, just Mike likes to tease. That's not probably the picture. Somebody had a real good picture. I'm not sure where they got it from, but this is a manual transmission Sasquatch. So that's kind of cool that they're, kind of final stages of that. I've rock crawled in a manual transmission. I'm not out there to be a man, like, as far as like, oh, it's the best ever. I could care less about rock crawling the old manual. But and they've been teasing this right here, which obviously you see all kinds of little hobby stuff there. But this one right here is the one I think is interesting. I think it's going to be a hybrid that they're going to come out with next year or be launching soon. So be aware of that. But let's see. Oh, that was on the tow hooks. 2-door support. Let's see if I missed anything else up here. Jolly loves Tommy, he says. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh man, I'm about to take the old Gladiator on a long trip. I'm going up to, like I said earlier, I'm going up to test that to do my review on the first edition Bronco. And it's going to be a long trip for the Gladiator, over 10 hours. Kelly, the wife, got to do a 10-hour trip in it. When we first got it, she drove it to Florida and back, and I forget, she averaged over 21 miles per gallon. Now, I've changed the front bumper out, so the wheels are more exposed. I don't expect to, if I could get 19, I think I'd be happy going up. I forget what I did in my Titan. I got 21, 22 in the Titan, I want to say, which isn't bad for a big V8. So I'm kind of curious what I'm going to expect on that, and comfort. The longest I probably drove that thing was maybe an hour around town. So I'd be really testing these seats out. Yes, it does, Jack. It does suck with a manual off-road. I was on the tow hook. Oh, no team cheat. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let me see here. I don't know. I thought I saw something. What we were talking about there. But let's see. What else is going on? Let's see. What mods suspension and tires on the Gladiator? I'm still up in the air. I did the poll on here on YouTube where I between KO2s or KM3s, and you guys, I think with the resounding, well, let's once again, last minute Dave here. Let's I'll pull it up for you guys. All right, community. All right, so there we go. It says, there we are. So I asked about the winch versus 35-inch tires, and 78% of you, over 126 votes, said that you would go with the tires first. I found that interesting, probably because most of you don't know, that I'm going to go off-road this thing and have some fun in a couple weeks. So I think a lot of people think tires first, which I'm not opposed. Whatever the wheelies comes with, it's 32s, 33s. I mean, they're decent enough for what I'm going to do this in a couple weeks. But I thought it might be closer than 35-inch tires versus the 12K winch. So, but then I asked, because I'm a BF Goodrich snob, I was like, hey, KO2s or KM3s, and you guys, 62% of you said KO2s. And let's see, comments. Derek says I should do the Goodyear Duratrex. Way better than the BF Goodrich. Derek, I'm going to disagree with you. I've had Duratrax on 2 rigs, and I cut sidewalls on both of those. Pretty easy, too. I did like the Duratrax. I think they look great. T-Man says, my 35s made such a difference this past weekend. I picked up a set of Steelies and used the 315/70/17 Cooper MTs. $375, and they ate up the sand, rocks, and mud. Well, awesome, dude. But so I was kind of surprised at how many of you guys thought KO2s, which is probably, honestly, it's probably a better tire for daily. I use on my company vehicle, I use the BF Goodrich KO2s, and no problems at all with them. It's funny, I was supposed to take it today and get new tires put on it, and I've been debating, do I go with something new with that truck? Because, it's my company paying for the tires on it, and they kind of give you a budget, and you don't go crazy with it. I'm not putting 35s on my company vehicle, but I thought, do I do that, or do I try something new? And I thought about those new Goodyear Territories, kind of what the Bronco comes with. They're still pretty new, so they're hard to get particular sizes in. But my KO2s have been right at about 50,000 miles on them, and the fronts are starting to show some good wear, but the backs still look pretty damn good. Uh-oh. My light's going out, guys. Hold on just a minute. This is important. This is important YouTube stuff. This is the behind-the-scenes stuff that you guys just don't get to see the important behind-the-scenes stuff. So let's change out the old battery, because you guys want a good reflection on my wall, right? Look how much brighter that was. So let's back you down just a touch. All right. There you go. And that behind the scenes was brought to you by Monster, or it should have been Monster Energy. Come on, Monster, come aboard. Ride the Dave train. Come on, man. Look at this. I know product placement already. Look at this. Anyways. So, dude, this is crazy. It's just a crazy, show. So just ignore my idiotness, and hopefully if you haven't subscribed yet, or hit the like button, especially 17 likes on here, 25 viewers right now. I do appreciate that. Let's see, KM3's Jack says. But I was surprised, as I was going to finish my thought, I was surprised that how many KO2s. And because if it's not your vehicle, generally you go, well, what would I like on my vehicle? That's what I'm going to suggest to people. So I thought it would be more KM3s because I'm running a mud terrain tire on there now. They come with Firestone Destination MTs. And my thought is, if depending on, so order banks open up for Bronco in the next few weeks. Depending on an estimated time frame for delivery, not that they'll give, we all know, if you're a Bronco guy, we all know you can throw that out. But in my feeble mind, I'm thinking if I put in my order, whenever it is, September, October, whenever it is, that maybe February I would get my build. And that's just what's in my brain. Once again, there's no rhyme to reason to my logic. That I would, if I put the KM3s on the Jeep at 35s, I would use the same size tires that the Bronco will have. What are they? 315/70 17s. I'm running 17-inch wheels on the Gladiator, so I thought then I could just take those tires and put them on the old Bronco, and that's kind of my logic. And I'm running those MTs now. They've been great. I have zero complaints. I'm not a Firestone guy, but I cannot complain about these tires at all. Like, I hate to say that, and I could recommend these tires now because I really like them. Now, I've got roughly 4,500 miles on these tires, so what are they like in 25,000 miles? Who knows? But so I was kind of like, I could get away with the old MTs, but also I've ran the KM2s, and we do get snow and ice here in Middle Tennessee from time to time. And you can't beat the KOs for snow and ice. Now, anything is like iffy with ice. Don't get me wrong. Like, ice isn't your buddy by any means with anything you do. And I've ran the MTs in the ice. We had some bad ice when I had my KM2s, and dude, you were sliding all over the place. But it's ice, right? But I really do. I think I'm going to have to agree with you guys. I don't want to agree with you guys about the KO2s, and it is probably a better truck tire. And I do use the Gladiator as a truck. I tow. I go and pick up. My parents have a zero-turn lawnmower. I use it I pull my lawnmower over here with it on the trailer. When I go to my event this September, I'm going to tow with it. I've got I don't even know how long trailer, little box trailer that I will tow with it. It will be loaded down, and I'll give them my impressions towing with it like that. I would have done the mower with it, but honestly, I don't even notice it's back there half the time, which is what you kind of want, right? That's what you want in a mid-sized truck, is to be able to tow. Like, daily things with mid-sized trucks it's an interesting, because people go, oh, I need to tow 10,000 pounds with my daily. And you're like, what? Get out of here with that, man. I don't tow 10,000 pounds with my mid-sized truck. Yeah, I've got to tow a tank. I've got a original Humvee out there I need to tow with the thing. It's got to do it. I mean, because I tow at once ever. So I need a truck that can do it when I need to do it. But I think, honestly, most people... What are we doing, camera? There we go. I think most people with mid-sized trucks especially, you're towing a lawnmower to maybe go get repaired or something. You're picking up, 10 bags of mulch or something like that. I think that's where mid-sized trucks are for. You want a tow. Just get the modern half-ton trucks, man. Ford claims 12,000 pounds, which yeah, can it do it? Sure. Should it do it? No. 8 to 10,000 pounds with a modern full-size truck is great for a half-ton truck. I think sometimes our expectations for mid-size is getting a little ridiculous. We're Americans, man. We have bigger, better always, right? Oh, the next generation's got to be more powerful. It's got to have, it's got to roll coal. I've got to have diesel stacks coming out of that Colorado. And I think, like, for the Gladiator, the sweet spot is maybe towing a 10-foot trailer, maybe a couple thousand pounds there. And that's the sweet spot. Would it tow a boat? Yes. I used to tow, I had a 19-foot Bayliner 19 and a half foot. With the inboard, I would tow with my 2001 Nissan Xterra. It was rated to tow that boat. Should it have ever towed that boat? No. The little 3.3 engine in that thing could not keep up with hills. And here in Tennessee, where all the lakes are, you're up and down hills, man. And I mean, like, up and down to get there and up and down to get back. And there was this one section. There's a lake here called Normandy Lake here in Middle Tennessee. It's the lake I grew up as a kid, man. It's a small lake, but we, as my family, just always would camp and have fun there. And so I took my kids there, and we pulled the boat there. And there's one hill coming back where I looked at it. My wife kind of looked at me. I'm looking at her like, because she knows. And I was flooring this truck to get up there, man. And by the time I got to the hill, it was probably in second gear, still giving it everything it had. But I think with modern things like the mid-sized vehicles that people were giving the Gladiator a bunch of crap. Oh, it can't tow this or that. It's like, man, I don't need it to. That truck's got a small bed. It's barely got a bed, but it does what I need it to do. It carries my daughter's softball gear. We've done a bunch of, I've taken garbage to the local recycling thing or whatever. It just does what my family needs that truck to do. It does it well. And my last truck was a full-size Nissan. So it's not like I haven't had a full-size. I think this particular size trucks work well. And I think that's like the new Nissan Frontier. I think it's rated at 6,750, something like that. That's a nice spot, man. That's a nice spot to be. You're going to tow your boat with that and be happy. I think that, the Ranger with the little 4-cylinder, it's rated over 7,000, which, once again, Ford and their ratings are a little. But, guys, what do you think that mid-sized trucks should do? But back to the tires. So I think looking at the KO2s in that nice mid-sized style truck, I think it's going to suit that well, probably a lot better than the MT tires would. Because of the what I would do with that truck, as a daily. My Bronco, and what I need as a daily is honestly not what you need as a daily, because I have a company vehicle. I have 3 cars in the driveway. We got a 2012 BMW 5 Series. I've got the Gladiator, and there's my son's got a Sentra in the driveway. My car needs are well taken care of. So that's why the Gladiator only has maybe 4,000 miles since I bought it in May. And of course, we're in pandemic time too. So, I know not everybody is driving a ton, but let me know what you think, guys. Is there another brand out there? I know I asked this question a couple of streams ago, but is there another brand out there? I am a BF Goodrich guy, but for the channel, I have to be willing to try new things and give my opinion. Pat says Bronco truck. Yeah, I did that in that screen that I did the thumbnail for the last video with Tommy. It was I had the Bronco truck up there, and I think it's coming. I really do. Gladiator sales, I want to say Gladiator's predicted to maybe 100,000 this year. Maybe I'm trying to remember. It's been a couple months ago since I actually looked at the numbers, but they're the numbers for Gladiator. That's a nice amount of vehicle to sell. Nissan right now is saying with the new Frontier they hope to hit 70,000 this year, which I think they're going to hit. Well, not this year, but for 22, I think they're going to hit 85,000 with that truck. I really do. So if Ford can go in there and if they can not take away sales from Gladiator, because Jeep guy and Ford guy, you've put the line in the sand. It's starting to happen. I've seen it. There, initially there was some Ford guy or Jeep guys that were coming over to the Bronco because it did look cool and it's the new toy, and they all threw deposits down. But I think that there's it's gonna be a fun line in the sand between these two. And I think that video that TFL did where they kind of compared it to the EV Jeep, the 4xe or whatever they call it. I think they showed there was things that the Jeep is capable of doing better, and I think there's things that the Bronco. I just think this is a classic battle for the ages, and it's just going to keep going on and on. So why not, if you're willing to do the classic battle of the ages with the Wrangler style, removable top. Why not, if Jeep is all in with their truck, why not just go to and do what's screw you, Jeep. We're battling you with the pickup removable roof pickup truck too. That image that we seen that I had, like I said on that thumbnail, I think it was it's interesting. The like Tommy said in that last video, the Gladiator or the Bronco's already bigger, larger vehicle than the Jeeps are. Hopefully, if Ford does this, they have a couple of Gladiators they're testing. Ford is testing these vehicles. They're gonna, hey, what do they do? What can we do better? Clearly, it's not a top currently, but I like that. I think the Bronco lends itself to a cool looking truck. And that little rendering that we've seen. I think that it doesn't have to have. Let's be honest. It does not have to have a 5.5 foot bed. Let's keep it more of the current Bronco style size there, so that way you don't have to really manipulate the frame too much. And I think it's a home run. If Ford were to sell 50 to 80,000 of those a year, that would be a slam dunk for them, because Ford's gotten rid of a lot of cars. They've got the F-Series, they've got the Escape, Mustang, Baby Bronco. Like they don't have a ton of cars they're building anymore, and they got a lot of plants to keep running. So I think that would be it. Definitely, Pat would be or who said? Oh yeah, Pat. So I think, Pat, that definitely would be a fun thing, and as much fun as I'm having in the Gladiator, I knew it would be fun. Just removable doors, roofs. That's just fun. I don't care what manufacturer ever does that. That's just a good time. So I knew going into that the Gladiator was going to be fun, but I really think that trucks. Everybody loves trucks, and I see a lot of women in these Gladiators lifted too, and that's an awesome sign. For one, it means that family-wise, they've said, "Hey, let's have a cool truck." But I see a lot of women driving the Wranglers and stuff too, and I love that it's getting to be 50-50 on cars now, man. Like there should be no more, whatever the sexist comment or whatever you want to say it was. The thoughts were back in the day, oh, we'll get the wife the car and Dad will have the sports car or whatever. But I like that everybody's wanting these kick-ass cars, and I think ultimately, Bronco truck, if they were to do it, would be a nice fit. I said it to Tommy, and I'll say it again. I think if they were to do a Bronco truck, we don't need Ranger, and I mean that. The base, if you want to, the F-150 in the little 4 cylinders and getting into some of the EcoBoost 6. It's cheap enough that, and I hate to say 35,000 or more is cheap anymore, but they're still cheap enough versus if you aim and compare it to the Ranger, there's not a lot of difference for what you're getting. And if I personally, and guys, let me know in the comments, but if I personally have to take if I were to an XLT Ranger or an XLT F-150, and they're damn near identical in price, I'm going F-150 all day long. It's just, and I love the midsize. The midsize truck is my favorite truck, but I just think that if you are to really compare value, what you're getting, I think you would go full size. So that's where the Ranger's in a weird spot to me, because if Ford is to do, if they are to do, something like a Bronco truck, the midsize Bronco truck would be just so different than the F-150 with the removable doors and everything. It would be just interesting enough that clearly, the wild tracks and all that, there's a lot of profit built into those things. Let's be honest. Now, yes, it's a new style vehicle. There's a lot of development costs they're going to have to recoup, but I think this current Bronco is going to be in production for 10 years, 8 to 10 years. Ford's a little iffy because, they do like to refresh things quickly. But You only have to look at Wrangler. The last Wrangler was around, what, 2000, what was the JK's built? Almost 12 years, something like that. 10 years. So I think that's the good life for that style vehicle, and I think Ford can, stay with that. Plus, they need to, they got to make some profit with these things. So I think if you get a truck that's $40,000 to $60,000, that's fun. The doors are removable. And Ford, for God's sakes, if you're going to do a truck, please put the door hinges on the outside like Jeep does. I just think that's a better design for on and off. I know why they did it. They got the smooth body and stuff, and it looks great. But I just think for practicality, I think the way Jeep does it is a lot better. But that's a home run for Ford. Well, guys, what do you think? Let me know. And let's see. Somebody... Zachary Rogers says, Dave, love the channel. I'm a new subscriber. Thank you, Zachary, for that subscription. I actually found you due to some videos that you did on the Frontier and stayed for all your Bronco content. I've been pining for the Bronco since its release. Well, cool, man. Zachary, what are you looking for in the Frontier? We can talk about it. I have a long history with Nissan. So if you go to the Nissan Nation Productions channel, I'm not asking you to subscribe there because I said earlier I'm pretty much leaving that channel to die. But I have a bunch of cool Nissan truck talk over there that I will eventually bring here. Let's see. What do I think about? Cody says, what do you think about the Nitto Trail Grapplers for the Bronco? I think they're a great tire. Cody, I am curious. Let me pull this up because let's do a C35. Nitto Trail. There it is. I want to see what they weigh. Let's go through here because rolling resistance is everything, man. That's where they instantly see miles per gallon and they think it's a tall tire, which some tight cases it is. But the weight of a tire, trust me, I went from in my my 2012 Frontier I had whatever the factory size, they're 265, 275 16s on that. And I think that the factory tire weighed about 35 pounds, and I think I put the KO2s on it, and I want to say it was almost 50 pounds per tire. So let's see what the here's that's a 16. 17. All right, so the current Bronco size is a 315/70R17 tire, which is about a 34. It's a 34 and a half. They call it a 35, but that tire. What do you guys think? Don't cheat on me. What do you guys think that tire weighs? Kelly, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that super chat. I'm curious what you guys think that that tire weighs, because this is surprising what this tire weighs. So in the comments, real quick, we'll do the old Jeopardy. Boom, boom, boom. Nobody wants to play along? Come on, guys. Let me in the comment. What do you think a good, and then we'll go. I'll try to find the information on that. The Goodyears that it put on. But let's see. So 76.8 pounds per tire. And let's see if I can find it. It's right here. And there you go. There's the weight. And 76.8 pounds. YouTube's Car Spotter was wrong on that. I wish it was 55 pounds, but those are heavy, heavy tires, man. And that is, once again, that's in the Bronco size tire. So I assume that's what you're talking about. Greg says 6 months ago I placed my order, and 1 year tomorrow since I reserved it. Let's see. Yeah, you guys were all wrong on that one, man. Let's let me do some quick snooping. Get the old Googles out here. Goodyear. Territory MTs. Where's that? Wow. Wow, this is crazy. All right, so the Goodyear Territory MTs, which are what I think it's close to what the Bronco. This has been a little wacky. This tire, it's been a little wacky, but I'm gonna go with this one. How much does it weigh with air? Let's see. All right, so let's bring you guys in here for this. And so this is a 315/70 17. Let's see, 112 miles an hour rating, 52 pounds for that tire. So that's a lot of difference there, man. That's what, almost 25 pounds per tire, and that is crazy. And yeah, like Kelly said, then add the weight of the wheel. But if you think, Kelly, just the rolling resistance that now that little engine has to push to get an extra 25 pounds, which then, extra 100 pounds. And then if you have the fifth tire, an extra 125 pounds, even though it's not rolling, it's still adding weight to it. That's an incredible difference, man. That's a video right there. We'll have to do a video on that one, because I would have never thought. I know I've researched tires enough to know generally 55 pounds for 33s, something like that. But fill them with helium. Oh man. Yeah, and some of these guys want to add Steelies to their Broncos or Jeeps, which is a little heavier than the alloy wheels. Greg says still no build date on his model year 22, or it's looking more like a model year 22. Greg, I would say, oh, did you set up here? 6 months ago. Greg, I would don't count your chickens out just yet. I think depending on restraints, they were having front bumpers and I think transfer case issues. Just getting a nice amount of them in stock so they can build these things. I think that's part of the problem. And it's like I said earlier or last show, Ford has had, Webasto, they've had some issues with them, and I've got an inside source telling me that Webasto was fired, and that's why you're seeing some of these delays. And I don't know if Ford owned the company or owned the plant that they were building those out of, or what's going on. It was reported on Bronco 6G that there was a new company brought in, signed the paperwork to make tops, and I have a feeling that they're trying to get that new company switched over really, really quick. And I have a feeling that the top, my sources are telling me is probably true, that there is no tops being made right now. I don't know that for a fact. I don't have anybody within the MAP plant that can confirm or deny this. And I really don't have a source over at the top manufacturing plant, but I've been told twice in emails some things like this, and I tend to believe it. Let's see. Zachary says Black Diamond does look good with the black Steelies. I agree, man. I think I'm not big on the general grabbers that they're putting on there, where they like a 31-inch or 32-inch tire on there. Looks okay. Mitchell Watts or whatever his name is at Town and Country TV, they took a customer's Black Diamond and did a leveling lift on it and added 33s to it. It looked pretty freaking cool, Zachary. I don't know if you've seen that video or not. Cody says, Bronco is on the train, and I was supposed to put 35 Nitto Trail grapplers on my Badlands 4-door with fuel wheels. Hopefully they don't get weighted down. Cody was... did you get the Sasquatch package already? Because that's the only thing I think you're going to really notice is if you drive that with the 33s they put on that. Or no, wait. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with which one you had. Depending on which one you get, the gearing, to me, the gearing's worth it just alone for the Sasquatch package. Pat says he saw that the chip plant over in Asia is now in full production. Well, they are. What's up, Devin? They are, except for we're in the midst of COVID crazy 2.0, right? So will they stay? And China's already had another shutdown. It didn't get really reported heavily, but there was a lot of manufacturing shut down for 2 weeks in China about a month and a half ago. Whole town shut down. So we got that going for us. Cody says, no, he did not get the Sasquatch. Which one did you get? Which model? But let's see. Oh, I've got another thing here to talk about too. It's in the description, so it's not like it's some weird secret. But we'll kind of wrap tire talk here up. But I'm surprised those Goodyears are that much of a bargain. So a friend of mine, a guy I work with in my normal full-time job, he just put those Goodyear Territories on his Frontier too. They look good. So I'm looking at them now. I guess I should not be so rude and share the excitement here with you. Sure look like a more hardcore version of a Duratrack. Side lugs mean everything. You air down, I'm telling you. Those mean everything. Not a bad looking tire, man. Not a bad looking tire. $301 per tire. I know talking with a friend who's getting his, he asked his dealership, hey, can you I forget what tire he likes. I forget what tire Luke wanted to put on his, but he was asking if the dealership could switch him out and what they would give him for his brand new Goodyear tires, and it was like something stupid, like $100 per tire, brand new off the train. He's like, hey, flip these out for me, just throw it in the payment. And they were like, yeah, $100 a tire is what we can offer you for those. And he was like, I'll sell these myself. I'll wear these out and sell them myself. Four-door Badlands. Nice, dude. Cody. The more I see of those Badlands, I want to find this. See if I can find this real quick. Well, here, we'll look at this. This is the Doug DeMuro video. So that is a four-door Badlands that he's got in the anti-matter blue. I have to say, those are 33s on there. That's a nice looking. If that was what Ford came out with as their top-tier package, those tires look like the KO2s on there like that look great. Those wheels look great. I like those wheels way better than what comes on the with the Sasquatch package, though not as capable, but I do like those wheels a lot better. But yeah, the 33s like that look great, man. Just look great. Anyways, I keep getting distracted. You guys are distracting me. I've got cool things here to talk about. All right. You go away. And we'll get this ready. But if you guys got questions or comments, bring them on. Rick says, was looking at doing 35 to 11.5 trail grapplers. I have them on my Wrangler. I know a lot of people that run those trail grapplers, man. They love those tires. Greg says, Dave, my buddy has been looking at the Jeep Gladiator since they came out. He won't pull the trigger since you and your wife have one. What are my thoughts? Greg, what is your buddy's needs? I mean, is he just like a daily driver, kind of wants something cool? Or is he a guy that wants to really go off-road it? If I have to, I don't know off-roading yet. I was supposed to take it out a month ago, and it poured rain here, and that's the last thing I want to do is go try to, for one, film a video in the rain. Two, try to film a video in the rain, plus not bash the new Gladiator up, because I do have a touch of redneck in me that if I'm being denied, I do sometimes go, F it, I'm getting up this hill, so I have to watch myself with that. On road, dude, I love it. Taking the top off. The only bummer about it is removing the back half of the top. You do definitely need two people. It's not difficult. It's just awkward because you got to run it down the bed to kind of get it off the truck. I'm hearing a couple issues with some leaky rear seals on the axle seals. I haven't experienced it, but I just keep up with the forums. I mean, not like crazy amounts, but seems to be somewhat of a problem. But I know every brand seems to have axle seals. I don't know what it is with Dana axles. Like, anyways, and the windows. My understanding is I haven't experienced this yet either, but the back glass some of the early 21s were leaking a little bit, my understanding. So I think they probably resolved that issue, but it was a warrantied out deal. They fixed it and no problem. Let's see. Did see the TC video. Great build other than the top being messed up. Zachary, the top one that the TC Customs build was funny was they're a Ford dealership that the sound deadening on one panel and nowhere else should never have highlighted that, man. Just I don't know if old Mitchell's getting just a little taste of YouTube celebrity or what, man, and they have ads run on those videos, so they're making some money on that, and they've got almost 300,000 subs, so they're making some money. So I get it, but there's just no reason. There's so many videos out there of people taking tops off. You just didn't need to do that and showcase a problem Ford is having. Daily Driver Greg says, I love it, dude. I think the Willys package is the best bang for your buck. Mine spec'd out at, let's see here, because I have it right here. My garbage dealership, they put it in plastic. Let's see here. There's mine. And what was that? 47. There it is. 47,625. Then the dealership. This is the great thing. Scammy dealerships tried to do this. I don't know if that'll show up or not. Look at that. They got the all-terrain package, which, hey, this is all-terrain nation. I was like, hell yeah, we're getting the all-terrain package. Nitrogen in the tires. And accessories totaling 900. Let's see if you can see that. What is that? $998.99. So right under $1,000 for these accessories, which there's no accessories. And they said they put nitrogen in the tires. I was like, oh, come on, dude. I told him, I was like, look, dude, I review cars for a living, man. Don't come at me with that BS. Because they don't even change. There was no nitrogen in those tires. All they do is put a green cap on the damn stems and act like they did something. And then he goes, oh, yeah, well, I said, $1,000 really for that? And then he's like, oh, well, we put locking lug nuts and stuff on your truck too. And then I had to go, oh, really? I said, because it comes with them. I can't quickly. There it is. Locking lug nuts for $65 right there. And I said, get out of here with that BS, man. And so, oh, man. Me and that dealership are still going around about somebody either came from the factory with a chip in the not windshield, the monitor, and a cut in the bezel that goes around it. And they've picked up my Gladiator twice. This dealership, who I will not mention because I would never want to give them credit for anything. Garbage dealership. And it's not my local dealership. I'll tell you this. They are a dealership where all the stars of Nashville live. But they just garbage. And they picked my thing up twice. They repaired it the second time supposedly, and I look and the chip's still in the monitor. And so my wife Kelly said they don't want to mess with Karen Kelly. And so she decided to get on it. I don't have time to deal with this BSE stuff. And honestly, I've lost interest in it. They fixed the bezel, so it's hard to tell that the monitor's chip. But anyways, dude, I'm just rambling today. Hopefully you guys are. My nose is trying to run. I apologize if you see me doing this, man. It's not the Dave of the 80s, cocaine Dave. It's just allergies. So let's get into this. I had a box here. I don't even need these headphones. I don't know why I'm wearing them right now. I'm not talking to anybody. So I asked you guys the last. Actually, I do need these. I can't hear how loud I'm being. So I asked you guys the last. One of the last. I did the poll, but which would you go with, CB or GMRS radios? And now I'm not a ham guy. I love ham radio. I think ham radio is freaking amazing. And if I lived out in Utah or somewhere where I needed to go long distance for communications, I would totally be a ham guy. But us on the East Coast, I hate to use the word overlander guy. I'm not. I'm just a guy that likes to go camping every once in a while. I would have some of the cool, fun overland gear, but I'm not an overland guy. But I have no need to talk to the space station, honestly. So I picked up the Midland. I gotta get product camera here. Let me get product camera back. So the Midland GMRS radio. This model is the MXT 115 for 15-watt radio. You can see it on there, maybe, if my lights don't blur it out. So I picked that one up. Opened the box up today, and let's go through some of the fun things. And let me get Doug DeMuro off the old thing, because I don't think Doug needs any more publicity, we'll say. But so I picked up the radio. First off, look how tiny this thing is. Nice little 15-watt radio. The cool thing with the GMRS is it's pretty damn clear versus CB technology. I'm super pumped about that because CBs, you got to tune them, you got to get your antenna tuned and all this. And I've taken mine to some truck stop places, and other than the fact that they want to whatever they do to boost the power in them, I don't need my CB to every time I hit it to deafen every cat and dog in the area, like that squeal that they do or whatever. That it's very strange what they do. I'm not out to hurt animals' ears. I just need a radio when I push it to sound pretty good, and when I'm on the trails, I don't use these things going down the highway. I don't need a CB. It's not the 70s. I'm not talking to every trucker out there. And honest to God, I've got a cell phone if I really need communications. But on the trail, I'm not doing a two-way call. I need some trail comms. And so about a year ago, I've been researching these things a little bit, these little GMRS radios, and started researching that a lot of guys out on these big farms out in Kansas area and stuff are using these, because you can get some distance with these things. And now there is a licensing to these, don't get me wrong, but I forget what the application fee is. I haven't done it just yet because I haven't installed it. But you don't test or anything. You just pay their, using signal usage fee or whatever they call it, and you go about your business. And they sound great. And so I wanted to go with this, and so it came with this package. It's like it comes with antenna. I like this feature a lot. It sounds silly. I like having a aux plug that I can control it, plug it into the aux port in the Jeep or Bronco, and when I'm done with it, unplug it. I can take it out, and it's not getting damaged. Or the thing with Jeeps is you want to leave your doors off. I don't need some guy walking by. I'm at dinner or something with the family, and some guy's walking by my Jeep and decides, hey, I need that worse than you do. So I'll be real interested in trying these. If you guys have messed with any of these, let me know. But look how seriously, I don't have a basketball player's hand there, and the thing's pretty tiny. Once again, it's pretty compact, which I like a lot, and everything. It's nice casing. It's a metal casing. I'm sure that's so to dissipate heat better. Get your little cooling fins back here. Nothing like the old CBs, but I like it. I think it's going to be perfect for it. And even the radio has some weight. I'm very surprised, because you get those plastic radios, man. You feel like you went to pick it up and you're like, whoa. But this got some weight to it, man. It feels quality. Definitely kind of feels metal. It's hard to tell anymore. But on top you got your channel buttons, your talk button. Pretty nice. Comes with a little clamp for your radio. It's sticky tape on that. Who knows how well that works when your vehicle gets real hot. And then it comes with an antenna. Yes, squelch. The antenna was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, but I'm like, maybe it just doesn't need. For one, once again, these things are rated. I talked about it one of the last shows. I don't have it with me. But I forget what they're rated this particular one. I might as well pull it up and we'll discuss. No, come on. I got to show you this. This is hilarious. I told you. Farm communication. Look at that. Code Harvest, and we can save $100 off an order of $500. Thank you, Midland. But here it is. So there we are. There's your distances. So obviously max. We don't live in a world where you're getting max at 50 miles. Ideal 10 to 15 miles. Obstructed, you're getting 5 to 10. If I got 8 to 10 on a trail, that would be pretty freaking nice. I'm not going to lie. So it's a 15 watt with external magnet mount antenna, which they give you this. This was kind of cool too. If I can get it off there. So they give you this little, it's hard to see. It's a little metal disc with some 3M tape on it, so you can clamp it to wherever you want to have it mounted. And the damn thing's got a good magnet, I'll say that. But I'm super pumped about this. I'm going in this, obviously, I use two-way radios for a living. Hopefully not much longer, though. You guys keep supporting the channel. So I'm no dummy to GMRS, but I am a little bit with these radios. So I'm just kind of pumped about it. Hopefully, maybe this weekend I'll get it installed. I don't know. Who knows? Like I said, I'm looking at a gloomy outside now. It's kind of a bummer. But let's see. What do we got going on here? How much was the dealer dock fee? You two cars said in Middle Tennessee. That I don't remember. I want to say it was probably around 300 to 400 somewhere in there. What's up, Ashley? Which dock fees? Yes, just BS. And Greg, I don't know if I got daily driver, dude. I would definitely look at the wheelies. I know I was saying it best value. You get some Rubicon features for 57,000 or 47,000 retail. Jeep's always offering a couple thousand off, sometimes 4,000 off on these things. So there's a lot of money to be made there. Let's see. I wouldn't want to mess with Kelly either. Greg says, "Yeah, you don't mess with the women." Kelly's getting us a new Badlands. She wants the Badlands instead of the Black Diamond, so I can't mess with that. Rick says, ordered my Bronco 3 days after March 19th deadline. I wonder what's going to happen when I get to pick it up. As far as what your dealer, Rick, are you saying what your dealer's going to do to you? So I don't know on that one. There's been some damn shady dealers, that's for sure. Just damn shady dealers. I was reading one the other day, and people were speculating, but I bet they were right that dealership hadn't called the person. Their Bronco came in, and somebody said the dealership has, I want to say, 10 days to notify you, and if you don't respond, they can sell that vehicle. And the lady happened to drive by there and noticed that one that looked like her order, and she happened to call, and the dealership's like, "Oh yeah, this is yours." And you're like, "Well, nobody's contacted me," and it'd been sitting up there for like 7 days. So a lot of scammy dealers out there, man. Just makes me sick. I get that. What's up, Vega? Oh, you got your ham radio license last year. Somebody was it, or did I miss that? Oh, it was you. That's awesome, dude. I need to get mine. His code is W7VGA. That VGA works out great with your name, dude. It's awesome. Let's see. Big homie, dude. What's up, dude? This new Tesla has me questioning my Badlands Bronco. Cybertruck, huh? Big homie. I just EVs, trucks, man. I just don't know. Tesla has some quality issues. Let's be honest. Tesla is the Cadillac. They're the Mercedes of EVs. They have that down. But they get a lot of passes on quality. I mean, a lot of pass on quality. Awesome name recognition. Cybertruck, a little iffy on. I think it looks cool. Looks weird. What's up, Bronco Wild Outdoors? My understanding, knowing what little I know about pedestrian safety, I don't know how they get that thing to pass current standards. but definitely looks cool. You can't lie from that. You can't say that a Cybertruck is boring looking. That's for sure. Which a lot of us don't want boring vehicles anymore. That's why Bronco and Wrangler sales are through the roof, and cool truck sales. People lifting their vehicles. You want your vehicle to feel like it's part of your personality. And well, if the Teslas, that kooky Cybertruck's up your personality. It's awesome, man. I'd definitely love to drive one, and maybe I would change my mind about it. It's like Tommy in that last episode said that. Driving EV, like you drive one, you're like, man, this is where it's at. The only thing with EV that concerns me, though, is where do you go from there? What the S-Plaid or whatever they call it now, 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, something like that. They go any faster, and your brains are through the trunk. Like, I just don't know where's the excitement going to be in 10 years when they're like, yeah, this one does 0 to 60 in 0. Like, I don't know, man. That's my only real bummer about EVs. I like the fact that you can get a 4-door sedan that whips Lamborghinis. Don't get me wrong, that's badass. I just I don't know, man. It's something about mechanical. Man is drawn to mechanical things. Definitely. Obviously, we like smooth iPhone, whatever phone you got, smooth. That's nice and it's practical because you're not wearing out buttons. But something about just the clicking, there's certain things that just make you excited, and to start an engine and hear it going, and to kind of do the cold start on them and rev it, and just have, I don't know, something about that with EVs just loses me. I'm sure I'm just dating myself. You're probably going, Dave, you're just this old dude. But I don't know, something about that. And Bronco Wild Outdoors up to 50 miles. Yes, that's what they claim, though. That's no obstructions. So maybe out in Mountain Moab or somewhere that you could do that. Oh, nice, dude. Vegas says he got his vanity call sign to match his YouTube channel name. That is awesome, dude. Vega, what is your channel about, man? I hate to be rude and say I don't know, but I don't recognize that name. And guys, I have smaller channels coming on board here to I want to interview, man, because I definitely like how TFL and Pickup Truck and SUV Talk bigger channels have always kind of mentored me and helped me out. I definitely like helping out younger channels. Rick says, I've been seeing a lot of the stuff out there suggesting that the Bronco is a bit slower than expected. What is my take on that? My take is I don't care. And I'm not being a dick there, Rick, about it. I don't like my Gladiator. I drive that probably like a grandfather, like a grandpa. I notice it more and more that I just enjoy 35, 50 miles an hour going around town. I just, people are zooming by me. Now, the BMW outside, I tend to get into that one a little bit more, but I never, with any of the 4-wheel drives that I've had, especially SUVs, I've never went, man, that 0 to 60 was better. If you want good 0 to 60, get the Grand Cherokee or the Cherokee, the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk or whatever. It's ridiculous. I had one drive up next to me the other day. Some guy had tuned. You could hear the supercharger on it. It was just, to hear a supercharger whine, man, just, it's so invigorating. And that was awesome. But also, he's not going up the same off-road territory I'm going up with. And I've seen a lot of these people. I think when you say twin turbo, you think, oh, dude, it's going to be fast. I really do. I think, when you're using the word twin or bi-turbo, you're like, man, it's made to go. No, what that twin turbo is made to do for the Bronco is give it that 400 foot-pound of torque. Really, that's what, if you see the turbos on these things, they're about that big. I kid you not. They're about that wide, and they're about that big around, and they're ridiculously small. And some of that is to keep it so they don't have to spool up when you get into it, so you have no lag. But also, they're not there to be drag cars. I see people fighting with each other too about that on some of the forums. And I approach the Bronco as an old school kind of off-road guy. I don't approach the Bronco as it's not the Wrangler 392 or when those guys were doing the LS1 swaps or the LT1, Jesus. But I don't want to take my V8 Wrangler out and just burn it and all four tires sitting there burning. But then again, we're all guys, or no, I say we're not all guys because I do have ladies that watch the channel, and I tip my hat to you. But I will say, like, everybody, it's a form of dick measurement, really. Let's be honest. The more my car can 0-60 years, that's blunt. And you guys know me. I kind of call it like I see it, and that's what I think of that. Is I don't have anything to measure, I guess, is what I'm saying, or worth measuring. Oh man, let's see. Rick says I have a Wrangler too, but I kind of wanted a Bronco to be a little more spry. Yeah, and the Wrangler, Rick, I'm assuming you have a newer Wrangler. That engine I'm very surprised by that engine because I've heard nothing but bad things out of this engine. You always hear, FCA quality or Jeep quality, this and that. The only quality issue I've had with my Jeep so far is the fact that, once again, I told you that it came damaged. Whose fault is that? I don't know. Don't care. I just want it fixed. Make people dune buggies fast and they're fun. That's more my angle I'm looking at it from. And I get that, dude. And don't let anybody ever ask me a question on here. Do not ever take that if I'm shitting on you by any means, it's probably not intentional. And usually I'll call myself out on it if I'm kind of being a dick or rude. I know my off-roading from the type of off-roading I do, whether it be at Moab or here in Tennessee, where it's a lot of true slick rock, where it's a lot of clay and mud and just, you need wheel spin. And I think I do think, Rick, here in where I go in off-roading at Windrock Park, you got to clean those tires out. You really do. You got to really, really clean those tires out. I think that's where the twin turbo is really going to help that. You'll get into it a little bit, but I just don't think that it's made for a 0-60 time. So, Kevin says, "Hey Dave, do you have to have a level kit?" Or, sorry, hey Dave, do you have to level or put a lift kit on a 4-door Outer Banks to put 33s on it? Kevin, no, you do not. It's going to be a little bit, it's not going to, your gap's going to disappear from the top of your fender to your tire. But everything I see, and I say this because I've only been watching the forums where people are doing it. I've yet to get my hands on to actually lift any of these, which I will. But my understanding is no, because because it's almost the same thing as like Badlands. I know the Badlands or the Black Diamond, you can put 33s on it. Damn near everything's identical. Part of this is the confusion of Ford, the way they've launched this vehicle is I've seen people put 33s on bases. So I don't think you will at all, Kevin. I think the only thing, if you ever have a worry, is they have those crash bars in the front and behind the tires. If you're a capable man with a cutting blade of some sort that'll cut metal, you can always trim those. But I think the crash bars are silly, personally. I'm sure there's some crash testing why they had to do that. Rick says he's good, man. Yeah, once again, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just trying to be as real as not dick real. Like I don't want to lose my audience because I was a dick by any means. But let's see what else we got going on today, man. I've got to talk to you about my Midland radio. If you're just joining us, I just talked about this GMRS radio that I'm very excited to put in the Jeep. I talked about the Gear America shackles, which, believe it or not, I think they're going to be worth every penny. They look great for one. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of these things we buy, especially overland guy buys because they want their vehicle to look tough, and these look pretty damn tough. $50 on the shackles. These were $15. The little sound deadener. You definitely want these because once the pivot starts wearing, the powder coat will wear on these because it's going to move, vibrate and stuff. Once they start wiggling a little bit, and on the trails, you don't want to hear clink, 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 clink. You definitely want a little bit of rubber and plastic between. Let's see what else we got here. If we're recapping, we had these Gear America rear recovery for the hitch recovery point, which I like because it's you can turn it this way or this way, the way they've done the holes for the receiver pin. And we've just been having a good time talking cars and trucks, man. What's up, Kevin? Let's see. But yes, Kevin, seriously, you'll see when you get yours, you'll see those bars behind the one in the front and one in the back, and there's bolts to take them out. And I know 4 Wheel Parts has the little lift kit that they're doing where it comes with those bars, like kind of trimmed version of the same crash bars. But I think you're fine. I don't think you're going to rub at all. And especially if you're using the factory wheels. Wheel offset means everything for these things, man. When you start stretching those tires out like this and you start turning, yeah, it's going to rub because it wasn't ever intended. There's certain, the way they, the wheel liners in a lot of trucks, the way they do, they're made to kind of keep air from going in there. So when you say this is the outer of the truck and you start pushing that tire towards it, when you turn, you're definitely going to rub. But I think what's up, Ramesh? What do I think about the new Santa Cruz? I've actually got one up at the dealership, my Hyundai dealership right up the road, and I've been meaning to stop and check it out. I like those, Ramesh. I like those when I first seen them about 3 years ago. Hyundai teased us with those things. And then everybody's like, they're not going to build those. And Hyundai was like, yeah, hold my monster. I think it's practical for a lot of people. I think the cool thing with it is the size. I always kind of look at those Ramesh as like a modern day El Camino, except the El Caminos had like 8-foot beds. I'm pretty sure they were 8-foot beds. For most people, once again, you sit in it, it's like driving a car. You got all the luxuries of a modern SUV sitting in there. You feel comfortable. You're still sitting a little high, but you're not incredibly high like a full-size truck. You've got a small utility bed. Say you picked up a dresser or whatever, the tailgate flops down. If I remember right from the press release, they do have an extender, a bed extender. Excuse me. So, you know, you go to Hobby Lobby or whatever, you're picking up a dresser or something, like you probably have enough room for more daily use stuff. And I think the world we're going to is, you know, a lot of people want practical vehicles like that. And if you need a trailer, there's a U-Haul somewhere that's going to rent you a trailer for something bigger. So I like it a lot. I don't like, you know, they're trying to do an all-wheel drive version that they're calling a 4-wheel drive version. I know why they're calling it that. Much like Subaru. And if I'm crapping on Subaru guy, it's just how I feel. I don't stop lifting those things. Can they go up things? Yes. But, you know, there was that video floating around a few years ago where that Mercury was going up Hell's Gate or whatever, Hell's Revenge. So can things do it? Yes. Should they? So I definitely get by there, Ramesh, this week and kind of look at it a little bit more. Maybe I can take it for a test ride. Radical Ride says, after I take delivery of my Badlands, I want to build a bolt-on exo cage for it. Swap out the fenders and quarters. That's awesome, dude. I'm not sure how practical, like with the sport cage that they're putting on them now, Radical. I'm curious how it's all bolted in. You know, like Jeep for years, you know, they just bolted into the body and it was pretty easy to do that. I'm curious. That's something I've not paid attention on the Bronco, whether it's practical to do that. But dude, do it, man, and kick ass with that. I wish they would, Ford for Performance would release those square fenders that they did on that SEMA build. Ramesh says it's a 4.3 foot bed with a 6 foot with the tailgate down. Only slightly smaller than your Tacoma with the 5 foot bed. Nice. Vegas says, I was dead set on ordering a Badlands Sasquatch, but now I'm learning to the Gen 3 Raptor, or leaning towards the Gen 3 Raptor as his new daily. It's going to replace his 15 WRX STI. Dude, man, how can you replace that car? Man, one day, about 8 years ago, I was dead set on getting a Scooby. I wanted, I guess it was like a 98. I'm so done with Subaru that I could never tell you the generation, but I wanted those round lights. I love those things, man. But God, they were, I forget when I was looking, they were stupid expensive still. Like ragged out ones, 180,000 miles. I want to say it was still like $15,000, $18,000. I do love Subaru products. Don't get me wrong. I just hate seeing these people trying to lift them and, you know, really think they've got some cool off-road toy. You might as well just take that money and put it into a side-by-side. Probably the side-by-side's probably more practical. Let's see. Buckshot says, I think the crash bars are bolt fastened. That is awesome. I'll still keep the STI. Okay. Scared me there, Vega. Dude, you're scaring me. Don't get rid of that car. Any bolt-on fun or what? Anything cool you've done to that thing? Totally jealous, though. How did I get that picture? It was floating around the internet, Ramesh. There's nothing sneaky about that. I do have sources that send me some things, but that was somebody, if you look, it's a launch photo that somebody's photoshopped. Good version, by the way. Let's see. I must be getting old, pushing in that clutch in and out during rush hour traffic. Yes. I had man, this will date me a little bit, but in 1995, I had my heart set on a Trans Am. I wanted a Firebird. Well, not a Trans Am. I wanted the Firebird, what I could afford. Because what was it, 94, I think was the first year that style. And I'm running a guitar shop at the time. If you don't know, I was a traveling musician. When I wasn't doing stupid things on the road, I was running a guitar shop. And yeah, so I took every penny I had to put towards a 95, or no, it was 94. I can't remember, 95, 94. I think it's a 95. Yeah, it was a 95. Firebird with the 3.6 V6 in it, manual transmission. I thought, I gotta have a manual, right? Because, you know, my generation especially, like, we thought we're probably the last manual transmission generation, but I thought, man, manual makes it a sports car, right? You know, anybody, automatics, yuck. I want the manual. I want to feel like I'm shifting. And then me and my girlfriend at the time drove to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which is where I couldn't remember earlier where the Jeep deal is in a couple weeks. But me and my girlfriend at the time, I decided we're going to rent a chalet up in the hills of Gatlinburg, and you know, we're going to have this romantic whatever weekend. And I took that car over there. Got incredible fuel economy, by the way. But I got there on a Friday around 5 p.m. and it was like 6 or 8 miles of red lights. Dude, my leg was so worn out of shifting by then. I was like, F this car, man. I mean, I still enjoy the car, but yeah, I was like, this is BS. I don't want to be shifting like this anymore. And I think I was also pissed that I didn't get the V8 version that I couldn't afford. I could barely afford the V6 version. But then I traded that car in for a 1997 F-150. So I've been around the block. The STI is bone stock. I kept it stock while it was under warranty. Now it's out of warranty, fully paid for. So I can start modding it now. What's Vega? What are you looking to do with that thing? Are you just gonna keep it kind of simple, a few bolt-ons, or go crazy with it? I'm always scared of that motor, man, because you start monkeying with those motors and they can put out the horsepower, but my understanding is they can also put your wallet out with repairs. Let's see. Ramesh asked about the picture. Any other questions going on, man? We've almost done 2 hours here, boys. It's getting crazy. Let's see. Let me look up here real quick, make sure I haven't missed anybody's questions or comments. Guys, if you would smash that like button if you're on the channel, I greatly appreciate that. All that does is literally, it's a spider web. It's like, you like Bronco or whatever the topic I'm talking about. Oh, you like that? Well, this other guy or girl that likes the same similar things that you do, I'm going to recommend All-Terrain Nation. That's all that does. Literally. I don't even care if you give me when you down like it. I know everybody like, down like this, F these guys. It's still all all YouTube cares about is participation. So it helps people find me, and I greatly appreciate that. And if you've done the old subscription button, thank you. Yeah, I heard the new models can handle more power than mine, so I'll probably stay conservative. That's nice. I will be, Radical Ride says, I will also be open for business to paint or bedline to match people's Broncos or even Jeep accessories. Hardtops. You're in Michigan. If you want to do something awesome with your Bronco, Dave. Where in Michigan are you, Radical? I will be up in the Rochester area in 2 weeks, I think. Waterford areas up in there. I got family up in there, or my wife's family. What do you prefer, Nitto or BFG on stock wheels? Kevin, I'm a pretty big fan of BFGs, man. I understand the Nitto love. I do. Let's see if I still got. See if I can still pull the old Nittos up here. We're gonna pull this up. We're gonna talk about it. All right, so there is the Nitto. This is the Trail Grappler. I get these lugs on these things look big and beefy, look great. The sidewalls look great. I like the textile that they use. I was hoping this would kind of move around a little bit, like some of the other tire websites. I get the tire. Like I said earlier, it's 70. Where was it? 76.8 pounds per tire versus the 50. What was it? Right around 50, 55 for the factory Goodyears at the same size. So, I mean, look, you can't deny that looks freaking great right there. They were one of the first to start doing these big side lugs, which, believe it or not, man, make a difference on the trail. You air down, especially you air down around 10, 12 PSI. You start laying those sidewalls out, it's more tread. It just helps, man. And I've in ruts, sidewall tires like that just help so much in ruts, man. I'm telling you, it's any sidewall tire like that looks great. Let's see, we got another. Obviously, this person likes to get theirs dirty, but yeah, not a bad looking tire. Let's see, BFG 315 7017. Let's see if I can find this tire. My tire of choice. Tire rack. No, I don't want tire rack. I don't want eBay either. Yeah, let's see what tire rack shows. You know, the KOs they used to have just a little bit of side lug. You know, BF Goodrich, when they redid these about 8 years ago, they really added some nice aggressive looking side lug. And let's be honest, tires are like tennis shoes. I say this all the time. Everybody wants to personalize their vehicle, and tires can make an incredible difference of the look of your vehicle. So if you want something that looks super, super aggressive, go for it. If you want something mild-mannered, you know, Michelin makes a great just normal AT tire. I've had a lot of good luck with the Michelin, which makes BF Goodrich, vice versa. But yeah, no, I'm kind of partial to this. The KOs have just always done me right. So let's see if I can find some others. Here we go. Here's the KM3s, which I like a lot. KM3s, you're getting this nice lug. They're big, heavy lugs. I don't care that you know my address. Big, heavy lugs on these things. The sidewalls, just like yeah, those look like KOs on the side there, but they're not. Definitely aggressive looking side lug, and not bad tire. They really changed it with right through here. They changed on the versus the KM2s. They changed where you get some a little more side lug right here, where these big heavy lugs used to come all the way out. Makes a big difference, I'm telling you. So that's kind of where I'm at with those tires. Dr. Detroit, what's up, buddy? Oh, Rick took his message away. Let's see. But yeah, Kevin, that's where I'm at with tires. If you're a Bronco guy, I'm sure the Goodyears are a nice tire. Ford wouldn't have gone out of their way to use that tire unless it was. The Rubicons, depending on which, if you get the Gladiator, I forget what they put on it. It's more of a street all-terrain tire, but you can get KO2s with the Wranglers. So they think a lot of BF Goodrich as well. How are the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss ATs? Well, let's look at those tires and we'll go from there. I've never been a big fan of Mickey Thompson. I'll just start off right there. Baja Boss. Let's look at these tires. Baja Boss. There we are. Bam. There you go, man. There's those Mickey Thompsons. Look great. I like just initially, I like the sidewalls a lot. The tread patterns, a lot of them are kind of sticking all with that same center down the middle of the tire tread, that style tread pattern. I think BF Goodrich, when they did the KOs in the early 90s, that was really the standard, and everybody kind of follows that. Those side lugs look like ridiculously aggressive. Let's see. Through here, that's just ridiculously aggressive. The thing I've had problems with Mickey Thompson is just the mileage you get out of them. I want to say they're built by the same people that do Pro Comp. I could be off on that, so don't hold me to that. And both tires, the 20, 25,000 miles, like they've not been great for long lasting that I've personally seen. But yeah, that's a great looking tire. Those would look pretty badass on whatever you put them on. What's up, John? John, we were talking about you today a little bit. Not in actual name, but that you had noticed some of that roof rattling on those the Broncos. What's up, Doctor Detroit says he will go KO2s when he needs to. Doctor, you always need to change your tires, man. Come on, bro. Let's see. But John, you are never late to the game, sir. I'm early to the game. I'm trying out some different times. So my life, Fridays, I will say this, Fridays, I've got a Monday show, the Bronco show that I think in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I think it is that we won't have a Monday show, but I'll probably do it on Tuesdays. Because my daughter's softball, I'm a coach. I'm a softball coach too. I do it all, man. I run events. I off-road. This face is made for YouTube, right? But I do it all. But I'm a coach on my daughter's softball team, and it's my final season. So you'll get more of my time at the end of this fall. But I've got a few games on Monday nights that's going to kind of screw up the shows. But no problem, Matt. Thanks for joining in, buddy. Sure, Radical. I'll hit you up. If you haven't found me, I'm All Terrain Nation Media, all_terrain_nation_media, because somebody took All Terrain Nation. Bastards. Find me there, man. Let's talk. KO2's on mine if it ever shows up, John says. John, they'll show up, man. We got to be, us Bronco guys got to be patient. And if you can't be patient, just do what I did and get you a Gladiator, man. Have some fun. And the way the used market is right now, though I hear it's starting to slow down slightly, you'll be able to get rid of that thing, no problem. That's the cool thing with Jeep, too. I don't care if you bought a Wrangler. I know people selling Wranglers right now, 2018, I think a first-year jail, with over 40,000 miles. They got like $45,000 for it. It's just goofy. I mean, like goofy. So if that's any sign for a Bronco guy, man, the Broncos are going to hold value pretty well. Let's see. John says Woody Woodpecker. Yes. Yeah, John was mentioning that John got to test drive I believe it was an Outer Banks yesterday, and was talking about the roof rattling, that he experienced the same thing. And we kind of were going back and forth last night about it. And I explained to him, John, what I thought, that there's just no support there for the roof, and that's why it rattles a little bit. Let's see. Josh Pendleton, what do you got for, what's your reservation? What you got going on, man? Let me know. Let's see. And once again, when you smash that like button, I appreciate it all. I got 40 likes, and we've done $10 in super chats. Thank you. Thank you for all those super chats. Brightens my day when you guys help me out, and hopefully I brighten your day a little bit. I don't know. I'm a dark cloud sometimes, as I was told privately that manufacturers think you're a dark cloud a little bit, Dave. Maybe you need to be a little more positive. And I'm like, maybe you guys should build things to a little better quality. Chips not coming steady till late third quarter, fourth quarter of 22. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Let's see. I'll be trading a 2017 two-door Recon for my two-door Badlands. Nice. Let's see. Vega Venturing says, my problem is I love so many off-road rigs out there right now. Was torn between the Bronco, 392 Wrangler, Raptor, and TRX. Man, I want your wallet, Vega. That's what I'm torn with right now. I agree. I think me and Tommy said this on the live stream that I feel like we're in the golden age now of off-road vehicles. Toyota's going to come. They got something planned for the 4Runner and maybe an FJ coming back. Ford's got the Bronco. We got the Wranglers. GM, unless they're just got their GM's a weird one because they're so want to be green now that if they don't get in this market soon, I mean, I don't even know what GM's doing with the twin midsize. Like, it's just a lot of GM's so quiet right now. It's weird. But yeah, I think we've got Nissan's got to have something come back. We got the Pro 4X in the Frontier. The new one's out now. I have a suspicion that Nissan's going to bring the Xterra, maybe not called the Xterra, but something like that back. So, yeah, I think we're in a great age for off-road vehicles. The only thing I want one of those Suzuki Jiminis. I want that here. John says, love the Bob's Burgers t-shirts. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed it. I try to bring a fun t-shirt every time I do something. I did one of these Jeep or one of these Bronco live streams one time in my Jeep Gladiator shirt, and nobody ever commented. But it's my thing, man. I like fun shirts. Bronco is in build mode since 7/21 with no movement yet. What's up with that? Kevin, I can tell you what's up with that. You're probably when they pulled it out, they had a bad top. I would 99.9% guarantee that's why a lot of people that got build dates and they're like, hey man, my build date's been forever. That and I'm, I people in the know, I keep hearing that Webasto is not building tops anymore for Ford. And it's just speculation, man. It's just what little birdies tell me. I can't get a second source on this or I would break it as an official news, man. But, I have a feeling that they're trying to, they're scrambling with the new company that's going to build tops and they're trying to get up to speed really, really quick. And I have a feeling you're going to see just soft tops come out of this place for a month or so. But once again, speculation. Do not hold me to that. John says, hi Dave, do you think the used and new car shortages will be the norm since they are making more off their cars than ever before? Is it hurting volume sales? No. John, I think they want to turn metal, man. They got stockholders, and stockholders, they want to be profitable, but a lot of stockholders only see profit when they see volume. And, like the F-Series being the top-selling truck for all these years, there's a lot of pride in that, and there's a lot of marketing goes into those kind of things. And, yes, we're, if you look at sales from 2020 till now, we are up quite a bit. I want to say most companies are almost 50% from last year, which would put them at 75 of where they probably were in 19. So numbers are coming up. If companies like Ford could not have their trains derail and kill a bunch of F-150s, they'd probably appreciate that. But I think, there's a cycle, and I've said this for a long time. I used to talk about this a lot on the Nissan side. There's a purchasing cycle, and you can only look back to 9/11. That's right, September 2001. The tragedy that happened there, and just whatever you feel about that. Right after that, I wasn't covering cars, but I was tracking it at the time. That all these manufacturers went from, I think interest rates around then were probably 2.9 to 5, somewhere in there. They all started doing zero interest. GM was big on zero interest right after 9/11 because they were scared. They were scared that. Oh, sorry, I got somebody reporting me some news. Dang it. So they all went scrambling zero. Oh, we got to keep people buying vehicles and houses and stuff. And they all went zero interest, and it screwed up the natural cycle of things. And it's taken till, I want to say it probably took almost 10 years to kind of let that cycle grow, because most people, 3 years, they'd move on to something else. Well, everybody after 9/11, interest rates and everything, the deals went nuts. People flocked to dealerships, man. Record sales, and then a year and a half later, 2 years later, nobody's buying anything. And then you get into, I think that obviously 9/11 had effect to create the recession that we ended up in. But I think a lot of the recession we ended up in was because these banks and everything were doing anything they could to get people into things like houses and cars. And so I feel like now what we're seeing is just the natural buying structure is being monkeyed with a little bit. There's a lot of companies that either big guys that need fleet vehicles that are, it's kind of screwing up with them. You can look at the rental market right now. Like their rental companies are buying used cars up like crazy now too, because they have a cycle they buy, and it was like 6 months they dump the cars. Once they get like 20,000 miles or whatever it is, they dump the cars. And with what happened last year, Ford, GM, Toyota, all these people, they're trying to feed everybody. And so, everybody's scrambling for cars. And I really do think that by spring, it starts mellowing out some. I think their patience for waiting for vehicles, they're like, okay, I'm just going to be happy in this vehicle for a bit. I think it starts to mellow out a little bit. And I think we've seen that some this year. At the end of last year, man, people were scrambling to buy anything fun they could, RVs or side-by-sides. And at some point, they're going to have to pay for those things. And so I don't know. I'm probably a little rambly on that, man. But I think this isn't going to be as bad as it was back in the early 2000s with people, the way they scrambled to buy vehicles. And that's just my gut. I don't know anything more on that than probably you guys do. But thank you, Kevin. Thank you for that $5, man. Once again, those super chats help me fund things like this. So I greatly appreciate that. And once again, if you're late to it, we talked about the Midland GMRS radio that I'm going to put in the Gladiator. We talked about some recovery gear that I'm bought. And I do appreciate that. And I will do some product reviews on this stuff too. Nothing crazy. I'm not a tech guy. I'm not going to break down the who, why, and where of this. Either it works or it doesn't. So if you have questions on some of the things I do, don't go nuts. What's up, Mobile Mondo? Cash for Clunkers, yes. Oh my God, Cash for Clunkers was such a effed up mess that they I remember in the Nissan Xterra community there was in 2004. When was Cash for Clunkers? Was it 8? No, end of 8, early 9. But there was some people that were bought new Xterras that could have, well, I won't say new. They were maybe 5-year-old Xterras that they could go for Cash for Clunkers and just destroy these vehicles, man. Yeah, and then people rushed to trying to keep the economy afloat, man. You're right about that. I forgot about Cash for Clunkers. Thanks, Sean. Yes, GM was huge cash on the hood before 2011. Probably was. I don't remember. I just remember the interest rates back in 2011 just crashing to keep people buying things. Do I got some Max Tracks yet? I have some. I do have Max Tracks, but I've had them for years. They're not Max Tracks. They're some off-brand. I'm not paying. I don't pay for name brands on some of that stuff, man. It's a freaking plastic board that I throw in mud, and if I'm stuck, it helps me get unstuck. And not crapping on Max Tracks. They're super nice, but I just don't want to pay that kind of money. What are they going for now? I couldn't even tell you. $250, $300 for 2 pieces of plastic. But I'm also mobile. I'm not one of these guys that's gonna slap all this crap on the side of my Gladiator either. I had a buddy that's got he's selling his Gladiator, and that's some of what I was being texted. Where we at? He was sending me some prices and some things he was selling, and he's got one of those racks. Let's see if we can see the picture. We probably can't. On the back of his Gladiator, he's got a rack for his rooftop tent and all that, and he was offering it to me, and Dave's cheap. So, and then I had a Tacoma up next to me. I was heading to Nashville today, and I had a Tacoma up next to me, kitted out, looked really cool. But he had that rack on his bed, and then he had all the stuff off of it because guess what? It's just gonna get stolen, man. So, it's you got to put on your Sunday best, I guess, when you go to your overland meets. But after that, yeah, $350 now for some plastic boards. And let's pull this up. Let's pull this up, man, because I want people, if they don't know what we're talking about, and maybe some Bronco guys don't know about these. Let's pull these bad boys up. All right. Technology is great. Look at that. Bam. Oh, no, we don't want the side view. All right, so here's what Max Tracks are. Look at there. This is the cheap off-road versions that I have. They were like $150, I think. It's a board. Now mine are different than that. Mine have handles. So here's some Max Tracks. It's basically a board. You can kind of use them as a shovel if need be. You throw them if you're in a rut. You can throw them in there, give you some grip. Really, really nice. Very handy, by the way. I've used them. I use mine. I keep them with me. I just I think some of the prices for some of the stuff is just stupid for what they are. But look, you can color code them. Like look, we could get red for the Gladiator. I would match the Gladiator. But definitely $325 for this. Looks like they're probably, depending on what color you want, maybe what the price changes. Maybe not. But, if you're an overlander guy, you got to have these, right? And here's the company that I like a lot. I've been talking about them. Great Gear America. That snatch block, that looks heavy duty. Their tow ropes look really nice. Tow ropes are expensive, by the way, if you're an off-road guy. If you're just getting into off-road, good tow ropes are expensive. And I say put money into stuff like that. Don't go cheap on stuff like that, or else you're going to be in the side of a ditch with a broken tow rope, and you're going to go, I didn't know why. What happened? And Tim, no, I wasn't bored. I'm trying out some new times. Pickup truck plus SUV talk. Tim Esterthal in the house. I'm trying some new times for my Friday shows, man. I want to see audience. Not everybody on the East Coast wants to be when I do them at 8 p.m. They don't always want to be up at 10 p.m. watching me or whenever. We got Tim Esterthal on. We got Tim on in-house with Mr. Pickup Truck and SUV Talk. Let me see if I can get the man online real quick. Tim must be bored too.
Actually, I am. And I got a wild hair I want to talk to you about.
Okay, let me get your face on here.
All right, I'm kind of frustrated about something.
Uh-oh.
I want your viewpoint on it.
Oh, well, my viewpoint's usually grumpy, so.
Yeah, I'm a little grumpy about this one too.
Oh, let's see.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's stupid.
Well, I like stupid topics, man. Let me.
All right.
Man, OBS, I know you were having some problems with it the other day. It's acting silly for me.
Yeah. It's sometimes got some problems.
So guys, let me do this. Just hold with me. You're gonna see me just scrambling for a minute, but I gotta figure this out real quick. All right. So Tim, other than your grumpy thing, how you been doing, man? We can talk to you in a minute.
Yeah, I've been all right. It's kind of a rainy, overcast day. I pulled weeds for like 2 hours, which kind of made me upset. I filled up 8 5-gallon buckets full of weeds.
Wow, that sounds actually horrible.
Yeah, and so my body hurts a little bit from that kind of BS. And no, I got another video to put out today, and I didn't want to. there's a fight coming on plug-in EVs, and I know the fight's coming, and I know I'm gonna be thrown out there, the old man in the on my lawn, and I'm just like it's just I know it's coming, so. And I'm gonna run the video anyways, cause F them. But I'm just like, I don't want to start the fight. Like I just was like, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get tons of comments and tons of BS from that. So
Tim, hold on, just a sec. I want to restart my Discord because it's acting kind of wonky. Hold on, just a second. Guys, thank you for being patient. By the way, see if we can get Tim back up here. Sometimes my streaming software and video software doesn't always like to play along. So let's see if I can actually get Tim in this time. I know they can hear you, Tim. So it's literally,
they can hear me.
It's literally
mysterious man from Nebraska. I'll just make me a silhouette on the screen.
If you can imagine a guy with a beard. There you go. Then you got Tim. Tim's the other man.
Not a ZZ Top beard either.
No.
Like,
and speaking
I don't know those guys.
Did you see that there we go. Now I can get you working. Did you see that their bass player passed away, man?
I did, but did you see the better photo of that? I don't know the guys' names, but apparently there was two guys, right? Bass player and the other guy, right?
Yeah, Frank. And there's a drummer too, but yes.
So what they did was they had two stand mics, and this one guy was singing into it, and they put the ZZ Top hat over top the other stand mic.
Oh, I did see that. Yes.
That was a cool ass photo.
No,
I thought that was pretty badass.
All right. So, Tim's so close that you're gonna get full face Tim in this video. But there we go. All right, there's Tim Esterthal with pickup truck plus SUV. Did I get it right? Plus SUV talk.
Yes.
So there
Tim Esterthal with a D. Yeah, I'll go look this up. So here's my thing for you. I was actually watching TFL's live stream today because yes, I was a little bored.
Okay.
And Roman and I were actually was talking about something that actually hit me pretty well too.
Well, but let's start. For those that don't know, like you actually know Roman, and it's not like you're just like in their live stream. Like you guys know each other. It's not a.
Yeah, no, I know. I've been friends with Roman for years, and we've been on events together. We've come close. We've been at dinners together. We've done overlanding together a couple days. I mean, Roman's a straight up good guy.
Right.
He's got a lot of good insights in the industry that, and he's always. What's great about Roman is. He always curious in your thoughts, even though how big he's gotten into this channel. He's still curious about what your thoughts are, and he always wants to talk to you about your thoughts. So,
right,
good guy with that aspect. He said something interesting today, and I had a guy in my comments talk about this. So, if you're well on my channel, I bought an F-150 hybrid, the Power Boost, and I have been using it with the power on board, charging an RV and charging my power tools, just kind of talking about this hybrid. Mm-hmm. And I went towing with this truck, and I towed a 30-foot long, 8,000-pound camper.
Which you got a video out.
I got a video out, and it's fine. So the video went live, and people were watching it, and that's cool. I got 9 miles a gallon, whatever the deal was. But what came down in the comments, and I've heard this from other people as well, is that they want to know the difference between, if they're shopping right now today, what should they buy? The F-150 Power Boost Hybrid, right? Mm-hmm. Or F-150 Lightning?
Ooh, that's not even a.
I'm like, there's not even. I know, right? It's not even app. But this is what's happening. And Roman pointed out a video. He's like, there's 120,000 reservations of Lightning, which is just stupid. It's just stupid to be reserving a vehicle. But he's like, out of these 120,000 people, what are they thinking?
Yeah.
Like, is this because rural people, like, I don't think it's even close comparison. Like, I'm not going to buy an F-150 Lightning. It makes zero sense to me. But what I'm seeing now is there's a whole influx of people, like Ford has announced. Like, most people in reservations are new to Ford. Mm-hmm. Hell, I think most people in the reservations are new to trucks because they don't understand a full-size truck in a city. Good luck, pal. I owned a full-size truck in Denver and in the outer skirts. I drove it downtown several times. A crew cab, 5.5-foot bed, a Tundra. I drove downtown to go out, to the bars and stuff. I was young. Yeah. And parking that thing was a pain in the ass. Like, we would literally take my wife's car because there's a smaller vehicle to take it downtown because trucks downtown, they just don't work out well. And so I'm looking at my garage today, and I can't fit my hybrid in my garage. The F-150, I can't fit in the garage. But I have a standard length garage. And I mean, yes, if I cleaned it out completely, every single corner, I could probably put the bumper against the back wall and make it fit. I mean, that's what full-size trucks have become.
Right.
And I'm just, in my mind, I'm thinking, what in the hell? So as a journalist, I'm really curious about this, but people are asking me questions about this, and I'm thinking right now about doing a video of talking about the F-150 hybrid versus the Maverick, versus not Maverick, versus the Lightning.
I think you're doing it now.
Yeah, well, because I mean, people are curious about this, and I'm mystified. I'm kind of I'm starting to understand their viewpoint a little bit on this.
Mhm.
But I mean, do you understand it? Like, do you think that? I mean,
so yeah, I agree with you. I think that, and I was talking about this a little bit earlier. EVs are such a weird thing, and I think we're kind of on the same page about it. I'm not against EV by any means. I like EVs. I think Tesla does it better than anybody. They know that market. They've owned that market. Nissan and others have tried to get in that market, but they have not scratched the surface like Tesla has. Now, if you want what is the Porsche, was it the Taycan or whatever they have, like that's super fast? Yeah, those are whatever.
No, it's like Taycan. It's like Taken.
Taken. All right, the Porsche Taken.
Maybe Taycan, but I think Taken's a lot better, right? That's my Porsche. It was Taken.
It's got a special set of skills. It needs a charger really quick.
It will find you. Yes. I don't know who you are, but we'll find you.
but so maybe that's like that autonomous parking thing or whatever when you like Tesla had for a while where it'll pull itself out. I don't know where you are, but I will find you. But so yeah, EV is like interesting to me because I was saying earlier that where do they go? And I know we're going to lead with trucks with this in a minute, but so the Plaid Edition does 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds or something. Sure. At what point is that number doesn't mean anything? Because that's pretty close to not meaning anything. And what the Cybertruck, they're claiming 2.9 or something in it. Ford, I want to say Ford was in the 3s with the Lightning. It's kind of what they were saying it's going to do. We're getting to a point like I don't need a sports car as a truck. If I want that, I'll go buy a Raptor or a TRX. Like truck guy is a mechanical guy. He wants mechanical things.
I have no idea how fast my power boost goes.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
Yeah.
I have literally zero. I have no desire. I mean, when I get on it, it's got plenty of power.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I need. I see it because I drive my 62 that goes 0 to 60 in about a month and a half.
Right.
So I know there's differences there. I know it's fast, but I don't care. It's like, and that's why I think we talked about this before. Like, does drag racing go away when electric cars come out? Because all drag racing becomes with electric cars is keeping the tires on. If you keep the tires on, your speed is limitless. Right?
You go into virtual drag racing. That's all it does is my car. Look, here's the specs. That's your drag racing from now on.
And somebody in the comments on TFL was saying, I'd love to see a series of you guys talk about modifying electric vehicles.
What do you modify other than programming?
You can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing to tweak. So I always think it's funny because they're like, hey, let's put. People are like messaging me on the power boost, like you should put a lift kit on that.
Why?
I'm like, the hybrid is meant for fuel economy.
Yeah.
The lift kit does not equal. It's like it's driving me nuts. And I'm literally like I said at this point doing an F-150 Lightning versus hybrid video because there's so much interest there comparing the two. And I don't understand it because here's the thing. What I was going to say earlier is when the Ford Maverick came out, and I get 40 miles per gallon in the city, has a 4-foot bed. That's an awesome city truck. If I lived in urban area, like outside of Chicago, like Jill does, or outside of maybe even downtown Knoxville or downtown Nashville. I mean, Nashville's gotten insane as far as traffic these days.
Yes.
But if I lived in those houses along outside Nashville, I'd buy a Maverick. You can park it in town. 40 miles per gallon. I mean, what are you talking? Is that like a month and a half before we fill up the tank?
Well, somebody was asking earlier about the Hyundai. What is it? What do they call the new Hyundai? You guys
Santa Cruz.
Yeah, the Santa Cruz. You guys just dropped a video on it.
We are the 10th. The 10th is embarked.
Oh, okay. I like those little things. There's a reason for those. People need something they can get sort of dirty. They can go to Home Depot and whether it be a dresser or something, it'll do just good enough. And let's be honest, the Maverick is just good enough for anything it does. It's not performance. It's even fuel economy. And yeah, the 40 they're saying it'll do. It's not a damn Prius by any means, but it's just good enough at what it needs to do. And I think that's what the Hyundai and all that'll be too. That I need to go pick up something slightly heavy from Lowe's, or it's just bulky. Pop the tailgate down, it does that. And that's where these EVs, they we're so caught up in speed. Oh, these cars are so fast, this and that, that at some point they're losing the fact that pickup trucks need to be pickup trucks. And me as a land surveyor, never practical. Never going to be practical, because I can leave my truck idle all day long. My little Nissan Frontier will idle all day long. I never shut it off. It's in a field, never overheats. I always have cold AC when I want it. What are you going to do with the EV that's already, the base package of the Lightning is what, 200 miles or something, 225? It's not even great.
No, it's not, you know, so it's fast. Like my brother's trying to buy, this is my brother. My brother's a little insane. When I was in Michigan last week, he was trying to buy a 600 horsepower Audi SQ7, $105,000.
Yeah.
Because it sounded good and was fast.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's not really a practical kind of person. But he's now moving half an hour away from his job. And an EV would make sense for him, but I can't, you know, but he wants the exhaust note.
Yeah.
Like I've driven a Tesla Model S. I've driven the VW ID4, which is to me they're boring.
Yes.
They're absolutely boring. And so I guess my point on this is saying that, you know, if we want to go electric Nissan Frontier. That battery electric in that, or battery electric like the old S10s they used to have back in the day. But something small, you could drive around town, you could park, you could charge easily. That's the future, not a full size half ton. Like,
why don't you think Ford might have? Why don't you think they should they have approached the Maverick as an EV?
There's not enough. To me, there's not enough profit margin there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking that Ford Maverick fully loaded. I think I did one, not all-wheel drive, because you can't go all-wheel drive with electric because you have a battery issue, right?
Yeah.
Where the hell's the battery going if you can put all-wheel drive back there? So I think I was like 30,000. I mean, there is no way to build an EV right now for 30,000.
Right. Well, it's all subsidized.
There's a ton of startups who are trying, right? But yeah, it's like I just don't understand that, and it's driving me nuts on my channel because people keep asking me questions about that, and I'm such a, you know me, such a practical guy, right? And I could give a crap about 0-60 times and that kind of stuff. You know, my best video on the Maverick is how far will it tow, because it won't.
Yeah.
And I mean that's just a real world viewpoint on it. And
hey, Tim. Will you run? I've got to run to the bathroom real quick. Will you run the show just for a second?
Yes, I will run your show. Go do your business. I will legitimately take over his show. No, I said my point here is I don't understand the thinking process between people coming in the truck world from the EV world. We're in a really weird spot between EV guys and true truck guys getting together and how these things work. And you look at what's going on, and it's just insane how the market's changing. John is here. John Sotomayor is here, and he's from Cheyenne. He brought me a bunch of whiskey, which, by the way, I've had a kind of a headache and crappy day, so cheers, John. I find whiskey's better than Advil. But I will say that I had the sports car. I did have a sports car. I want to talk about this in a minute. I want to go back to I'm going to create some controversy when he's gone. Marcus Brownlee, MKB is what this guy's name. He has this whole BS thing about how the Ford Lightning goes farther because of 1,000 pounds payload in bed, whatever. So don't believe the hype. Let's wait till journalists like myself and Dave get these vehicles and do some real world stuff. So I did have a Mercedes-Benz AMG CLA 45. And this is all-terrain nation, so anything that the two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, doesn't matter what you drive. Oh, I know his tagline. That's kind of crazy. Anyways, I had a Mercedes-Benz, and it was stupid fast out of an inline four-cylinder, and the exhaust note was really good. My problem with it is I felt like a drunken sailor every time to try to get in the damn thing. Because the way the door was, it was just... I do like the whiskeys. I have such a hard time opening them. So, and I'm saving some of them for special occasions. John, I end up going to the store and buying the cheap stuff because a $300 bottle of whiskey, I just have a hard time opening the bottle. I really do have a hard time opening the bottle. But yeah, I have a really, the Mercedes-Benz was a lot of fun, and it's a yellow taxi cab. So there you go. All right, I will take 3/4 your super chat money there, buddy, because I know you make a lot of super chats. So yeah, John was talking to me about the whiskeys and the sports car. So I had that Mercedes-Benz that he was asking.
Speaking of, cheers, sir.
Yeah, I had a little headache today, and I just don't feel great. So I find a little whiskey solves that.
Well, feel better, buddy. Hey,
I'm just tired. I just worn out.
yeah. So EV, like the EV Lightning to me is just it's just a hey, we can do it. We're trying to look good. I think like you. I think they should have come out with the mid-size. Do the
Sorry,
Rangers and
there's like a massive rainstorm all of a sudden hit the house.
oh, nice. I've got one trying to get
Yeah,
here.
my water bill was insane last month. You know, it was 100 degrees in June in Nebraska. 100 damn degrees. We don't get that till right now.
Yeah.
And we had like 7 or 8 days in the hundreds, 90s in May. Like I am worn out from. That's another thing. I'm worn out from the heat, and then I'm going to New York City next week, so I'll be worn out by the damn flight. You know, it's 4 hour flight.
Oh yeah, I know because you know
For
how
me.
I know. I flew from when I went and covered the 2020 Titan. I had to fly from Nashville to New York, well, New Jersey, whatever, all the way back out towards your area. I'm like, whoa, that's what.
Oh, you couldn't go to like Chicago and connect. You had to go to New
No,
York.
no,
But
it was Nissan handling the flights. So
yeah, yeah. So this is that oddball for you. I'm just talking about all sorts of stuff. I should do my
sure,
online stream. A
sure.
lot of things to say tonight. Grand Cherokee, no Grand Wagoneer, Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer, right?
Mhm.
Jeep's new $100,000 FU money SUV, right? In New York City.
Where yeah,
Is
where
that?
you, where are you driving at?
That's like I'm looking at itinerary going, and I know they have some off-road places apparently outside the city, or I don't even know. Like I'm like, what a bizarre thing to drive there.
Jeez.
And I'm driving the Grand Cherokee L right now, which is their 3-row new Grand Cherokee.
Hmm.
It's in a very boring silver. Why is silver so boring? But I'm driving this really silver boring thing. And here's the thing that's crazy to me. It's got the Hemi. It's got the 5.7 V8 in this thing.
Wow.
It's got like the best it can do is like 18 combined, a 3-row SUV. And I'm like, why did you? I don't know. And it's not that much bigger than a Tahoe. It's like much. It's like a Durango, 3-row Durango.
Yeah. Well, you
So
know,
I'm just throwing you off
my
the
wife
curveball.
my wife watches all those billion-dollar listings, whatever on whatever Bravo or whatever, and they always have these real estate guys that they're chauffeured everywhere. They have drivers, and they're always in these big Suburbans and stuff. And I'm like, wow, way to throw your kind of dick size out there. I guess is that maybe that's why they do that. I don't know.
So here's a funny fact for people who don't know. When they bring me vehicles, they check my license to make sure I still have a license that I hadn't been like drunk driving. I always thought drunk driving. Like if I had drunk driving, like
Yeah.
I got my license, I think they think a punch hole, and they punch hole in your license. But it turns out, I was talking to a guy about this at the press program once. He didn't have a license because he lived in New York City, but he wanted to review the vehicles from a riding standpoint because everybody knows doesn't own a vehicle. They buy one, have a chauffeur driving them around.
Yeah.
So he wanted the person in the vehicle's passenger seat like viewpoint and reviews because he figured the chauffeur is going to drive him around anyways.
Wow. That's a
I
new
was like,
that's a new one.
how are you an automotive journalist who wants to sit in the passenger seat? Like that was the most bizarre thing ever. Like I was scratching my head on that one quite a bit.
Well, so Grand Wagoneer, I touched on this about this time last year whenever they revealed it. I think it was October somewhere. How long does that last? Because Stellantis, whatever they want to call themselves, they don't have a big history of full-size SUVs doing very well. You know, they had what was it, the Chrysler, was it Pacifica or something like that? No. Chrysler had a full-size for a minute, like maybe 9, 10 era.
They had an Aspen. I think the Aspen was a bigger one, but they haven't had a big one since the Commander, I think it was.
Yeah. But where
And that was Jeep Commander, but they haven't done full size. You know, they were competing. If I were to go way back in time, with the Ram Charger when
Yeah.
they had the Ram Charger
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the Ford Bronco and the but they haven't had anything in a long time. And what's stupid with that is, you know, we're such a weird part in the marketplace where people are buying big full size SUVs these days, and automakers are supplying small EV sedans.
Yeah.
And it's such a weird place. Like I again, I go to Roman's conversation. He was really insightful on this. He's like he went and saw the Lucid Air, which is the $100,000 sedan EV,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Why are you building a sedan?
Yeah.
Like, why can't there be like a small crossover EV, right? Why doesn't like the Bolt? I know the Bolt EUV To me, that makes sense. It's a crossover. It's a hatchback kind of EV. But why doesn't somebody build something that's a small, compact crossover like go Nissan roots?
Mhm.
Why doesn't Nissan Rogue Sport? Why isn't that just a full battery EV?
Well, they need like brands like Nissan have tried to do hybrids for a long time, and they would test them in markets like California or Arizona, and they just would never do anything. Like,
Well, the Leaf is dying. I mean, you look
oh
at the
yeah.
Leaf sales; it's dying, and now it's like it's a compliance car because it's $7,000 off, and so it's $20,000 for a Nissan Leaf that nobody's buying.
Well, the way I see the Leaf was it was an experiment, not experiment, but it was testing can they build them practically. Like, can we manufacture this car? That's how I've always approached the Leaf. Is like Tesla went all out with their S, they and that in their little sports car. I think these, Jack, you've been to Japan. They're so conservative. They don't make moves without there's a move after the move. Like they really can we build it? And obviously it was a weird, it's a small car anyways. It was kind of strange. You can't put much battery under that thing because it's so the size. But the way I think for brands like Nissan is, I think, yeah, the Leaf dies, but I think Aria comes in, and then I think they turn the Maxima into because the Aria is the same, not platform, but same size platform, and then they have a car, and then they have the SUV, and then it slowly just kills all their other cars. Altima or whatever just ends up going away, and then they bleed. They use Aria tech into maybe Frontier because Nissan said for 2.5 years now, hey, we're working on an EV truck. So
So I want to bring something up. I'm looking I have another browser window open, but uh, Josh Pennington has a good question. Maki,
mhm.
and this really was interesting to me, and I want to clarify this by just meant by very interesting to me as a journalist because there was a lot of energy behind the Maki when it came out. A lot of energy as far as people were talking about it. A lot of energy as far as media attention. It got the EV car of the year. I mean, my goodness, the attention on this thing was insane. And so the Mustang Mach-E, looking at Ford Motor Company, July 2021 U.S. sales, the Mustang Mach-E sold 2,854 units, or vehicles at that point. We call them units in sales reports. The Bronco sold 3,277. The EcoSport, because of stupid Ford, sold 4,240 units. The Explorer sold 13,351 units. So what's interesting is they can't build the Bronco to meet demand because they stuck in production. But even that, at second production, bested the Mustang Mach-E. And so I found it interesting how much energy there was behind the Mustang Mach-E and all this stuff going on, and it's getting destroyed on dealer lots as far as sales.
Yeah,
Even the Transit beat the Mustang Mach-E by 4 times.
well, and they act like the Mach-E's just outdoing everything. They're all the Ford's press
Right. Yeah.
releases about it. Yeah, it's just like, oh, it's outdone regular Mustang sales. And you're like, yeah, because Ford, whatever reason, they didn't want to sell cars anymore. I understand it. They gave it up to Toyota and Nissan and Hyundai. It's like, you guys do it better, little cars. You guys have that. But by them butchering car sales, at some point that's going to affect Mustang sales.
It's going to, but let me read you this headline. This headline's in all caps, bold font. Ford Mustang Mach-E sales grew 15.8% in July, comma.
Mhm.
Second largest in electric SUV segment, colon. New vehicle launches of F-150 hybrid, Bronco, Mustang Mach-E expand Ford's competitive conquest rate, which just means that they take from other companies.
Yeah.
It's like your big headline is it grew 15.8%, and your damn van is beating it 4 times over. I'm sorry. I love the Ford Transit. I love the Ford. I've driven the Ford Transit. Love the Ford Transit, but it's like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? But that's the whole news. So like, I shared a video today, and it's a little political, but C-SPAN ran a video of President Joe Biden,
Mhm.
President Joe Biden, who did an announcement of is yesterday the targeted the EVs and whatever he's gonna have this targeted by 2030, whatever. And C-SPAN was video that President Joe Biden hopped in an all-electric Wrangler and drove away from the event.
The
It doesn't
Lightning.
exist. It's a
Yeah.
plug-in hybrid. He got the 4xe, which, by the way, the Wrangler 4xe, Jeep announced today, is increased by $3,000 the starting price. The thing now starts over $52,000
That's ridiculous. Because
for 20 mile range.
well, I watched Nathan talk about that on TFL, and yeah, he mentioned, well, with tax credits, this and that, which those only last for so long, and some of these companies, yeah, they're going to get them where others like Tesla don't get the big credits anymore because of volume they've sold. Yeah, I don't. The Jeep
20
and
miles of range.
I told
So Tommy says they're all over Boulder, and the reason why is they're a feel-good Wrangler.
well, and that in Colorado offers big incentives too.
Right, you get like $1,000, $2,000 more, but it's a feel-good Wrangler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can drive it full electric mode, which you won't. Auto Pacific did a study about 2 years ago. They found that like 75% of people that owned plug-in hybrids never plugged them in.
Yeah, I was thinking of that when I watched Nathan's video on that. I was like, I guarantee you half the people don't plug them in because think about it. That thing, what, 27 miles or whatever it's rated? That's a joke. That's a joke. It's a joke, man.
If you squeeze it out, I mean, they buy it because the $7,500 tax credit plus state tax credit plus they can drive in the HOV lanes because now they're classified as electric vehicle.
Yeah. And it'll probably be gas, mostly running on gas in that HOV lane.
Right, and somebody asked me to this today, which boggled my mind. They asked me to this today. They said, "What's the benefit of the Ford F-150 hybrid if you don't get better fuel economy than towing?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wait a minute here. Well, hold the phone. When have you ever found an electric vehicle get better fuel economy towing? Never.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never. It's not. There's no point to a hybrid towing. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You have a small displacement engine and electric motor. Like, well, doesn't electric motor turn on? I'm like, electric motor's going. You get 570 foot-pounds of torque, but I'm like, you still have a 3.5 liter V6. I mean, that's what you have. You don't have a big 5.7. So the F-150 that I drove right now has about the same performance of like an early 2000s 3/4 ton.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I mean, I was going camping for the weekend. It cost me $70 to go camping. Fill the truck up because I burned a half tank going down 100 miles, half tank coming back 100 miles. I spent $70 in fuel. We had a couple days of cool camping. We sat around and drank a little bit too much, but we had a good time with the family. I mean, that's what it was. And so I'm like, if I did an EV, I'd be charging the entire weekend to try to get back some sort of range. I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I could not make it towing 8,000 pounds of that EV.
Well, and then they brag about, oh, well, you can plug in your house to this or, your RV or whatever. Just plug it into this thing. And you're like, yeah. And then I've got 75 miles worth of actual usable vehicle.
Right. Mobile Moto says torque monster, right? So 570 foot-pounds torque on the F-150 hybrid. And people keep saying to me, EVs are torque monsters. Well, to me, what is the real-world usable torque? I towed a camper 65 miles an hour down the road, went up 1,000 feet, up and down 1,000 feet. I think 500 feet each way. I towed it all the way uphill down to the campsite and back. Wasn't much of a grade, just a couple. It was just up a little bit and then come down.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had more torque than I needed.
Yeah.
So what? You give me 1,000 foot-pounds of torque in some sort of Cybertruck or whatever the deal is. Who cares?
Well, wait till you see Ford's sure been teasing the Bronco to be a hybrid. Like it's already the 2.7 gets like 400 foot-pound of torque, which is just stupid too much, really. Like you said, when are you going to actually use this? Even off-roading, when are you actually going to use that amount? But then when they come out with, say, an EV and they're like, oh, 500 foot-pounds of torque in this thing, you're like, what am I going to do with that? Like you said, an EV is about flat roads, squeezing as much as you can get out of it. It's not about, how much can I tow? And, Ford did that. Oh, they showed the EV towing the trains or whatever, which was, brilliant marketing. Oh, look, it can do this. Yeah, it can do that for about that 400 feet that you could do it, and then it's dead. And that's the problem with EV is it's only practical for fast or just flat speed, and that's it. It's not practical for trucks. And the Lightning, I've had a bunch of people go, hey, man, what do you think about the Lightning? And I don't know what to think about it because for one, I look at things from when I look at a truck, I'm on construction sites or whatever. I see what people do with those. At no point do I think the good old boys or the Hispanic labor out there is going, man, Well, I can plug my skill saw into this because they're all plugged into the temporary electric box there anyways. And then you got all these EV vehicles with no place to charge them. Did you see the picture that came out of Canada where and I don't know how real it is or not, but it makes sense. Shows these people with all Teslas and EV cars lined up for 2.5 hours to go charge their vehicle so they could go to the next town. Because the structure is not there for EV tech yet.
The thing that's crazy to me about the EV charging is even EV DC fast charging is still like an hour. Right?
Yeah,
I think
it's like 800 watts. Like it's enough to like kill a town of people if something
right.
happens.
So, right. So even if it's an hour, and now you have 50% of the total car market being, let's say, eventually we get the full EV, you're gonna have to have 4 times the amount of what gas stations you have right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers are astronomical, right? So a gas station can flip through customers every 5 minutes.
Yep.
But now you're going to need to have 4 times the number of pumps, 4 times, and that's all across the country, because these bays are now becoming hour-long bays.
Well, and then think about the carbon footprint of all that, which is what EV guy loves. Oh, carbon footprint. I'm reducing my carbon footprint. Yeah, you personally are, but now you're requiring convenience stores or whatever to expand, and then suddenly if they're having to expand, they're going to pass that on to you because suddenly that 15 cents per charge or whatever it runs is 4 times the price.
And so Mobile Moto brings up a couple points in that
he owns the chat, by the way, right now.
I know he owns the chat. Most people talk about like where do you charge it? So you charge it at home, which means whenever you buy an EV, you got to spend $1,000. Because you can't run it off your normal house circuit.
I think it's more than that, right? It's $1,200 to $1,500.
Yeah, you're gonna spend some money, right? Yeah. So I mean, I plugged in a BMW X40. No.
Oh, this is good. This is great because
X30, X5, X45 eDrive, whatever the damn thing is. I plugged this thing in. It took me 30 hours or so to charge at 110 because I can't run the full amperage off the circuit on that because I have a fridge in my garage. Right, which I think is just because you look at the stuff online, they're like, oh my gosh, you should be able to charge this in like 10, 14 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you had a 30 amp service at 110, that's only for the plug-in hybrid, sure. Yeah. I don't. So then I have to go 240, which means I might as well go 240 50 amp because if I have that, I might as well just go to full capacity. But the BMW doesn't make a 240 50 amp as far as I know. They can do 240 30 amp, but you have to buy a separate cord. Cord that came with it was just 110 amp.
Yeah.
110 volt. 110 volt. I think it was up to. I think the screen showed 20 amps.
So that must be nice as a press vehicle that it takes 30 hours to charge something that you need to go 200 miles with, and then you got another 30 hours, and by the time you got one drive in, you got to return the car.
So it took me the entire 3 days to plug it in. I mean, because I kept trying to drive it and not drive it and whatever, and so I actually did a probably really crappy review of the vehicle overall. Because my entire point of the vehicle was, hey, I spent all this time charging it. And I actually looked it up. I have my I had it over here. Yes, I got my city statement for electricity. So I got a statement from the city how much electricity I spent in June, which is a lot more water than electricity because of the way the damn storms have been. But anyways, well, actually not too bad. But I figured it out. I pay 14.4 cents per kilowatt hour, right? And so to charge that AV, this is my video is coming. This is going to piss people off. This is why people get people pissed off. Was that the charge AV cost me $4 to $4.50 to charge it to go 33 miles. Now the BMW X5 gets 20 miles per gallon.
Yeah.
So basically, it's 1.5 gallons at $3 or so, $3.50 a gallon. So what's that, like $5?
Yeah.
So I could have spent $4 in electricity or $5 in gas.
Yeah.
To go 30 miles. I mean, that's literally what that is. I mean, that literally what. And so I was looking at this. My friends were like, "Well, that's really cheap. That the EV is only 14. The kilowatt battery hour is 14.4." And my friend in California looked it up in his house. His electricity was 44 cents per kilowatt hour. 44 cents. And then to Mobile Moto's point, is like we use coal here a lot for electricity. But in California, you're doing nuclear and a lot of water, right? And so you add more cars to the grid, what happens in the commodity market? More electricity gets used, the price goes up. Not down,
Right.
right? Demand goes higher, supply gets built up, and price goes up. And so if you're spending 44 cents per kilowatt hour to charge your EV in California, I don't know how you're making any sort of return on investment in the EV unless to feel good about the environment, which is kind of ridiculous because you go buy any new truck, every new truck does better on the environment emissions than it does in years past.
Yeah.
And Biden, I hate to be political, but I've read Trump stuff and Biden stuff. They're both dumbasses. All presidents are dumbasses. All
Right.
presidents are dumbasses. But his dumbass thing was that 29% of all emissions in this country are from transportation, and they want to make fully electric as far as for all consumers, which is just a ridiculous end game because most transportation pollution is from trains, planes, and automobiles.
Yeah.
Right, but automobiles in terms of long haul trucking. If we can get long haul truckers to use hydrogen instead of gas and diesel, we'd take care of a pollution problem.
Well,
Right
so Zachary was talking about, he said he read an article at Nissan's experimenting with hydrogen. Well, Toyota's been monkeying with that for a long time. Like
Japan's all hydrogen.
Well,
you go to Japan, I mean, it's all I mean, China doing hydrogen quite a bit. The U.S. is just dumb. I mean, we have natural gas lines running all across this country. All you do is tap into that, you split the atoms, and you have hydrogen.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, well, Toyota's been doing this for a while, and they, people were like, oh, well, Toyota, because they came out with the Prius and stuff, the old, the first hybrid tech, and they were like, oh, that's, why are they not in EV? It's because they knew after Prius, they know the techs, they know it's not there, so they're developing something, the next something, and not worried about let Tesla and all these guys cram for all this. But so, and kind of not being political, but it came out today that you were saying a lot of California's power is based on either nuclear or hydro or whatever. Well, they're sucking the water down so fast out there now. They and they are in a drought. They're shutting down some of the water, the dams and stuff for power because they don't have the water to do it. So
Oh my goodness! Have you seen the video of Hoover Dam?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Hoover Dam is. If you're in Vegas right now, you should go buy bottled water. It's gonna be worth like $6 a bottle here pretty soon.
Because they shut it. It's shut down for producing electricity right now too, if I remember.
They have developed new turbines that run on lower inputs of water, but at some point it's a losing game. At some point they can run out of enough water.
Right.
Vegas is in trouble. Vegas is absolutely in trouble.
Yeah, because what 70% of their electricity comes from that or something. Something crazy.
The Havasu Lake.
Yeah.
Is it Havasu or I think
it's Colorado River is I think what it all comes off of.
Right, but it goes into a lake, and the lake actually through the dam. But Hoover Dam is really in trouble, and so I mean, I live in the West, right? So I go to Michigan, with my family all the time. And I was like, well, you need more water. I go to Great Lakes, it's right over there. I'm like, no. Water's a huge deal out west. It's a huge deal. There's more about water problems than there are anything else going on around here. Because as population has boomed out in Vegas, Arizona, whatever, baby boomers, water's a big issue. So I was looking at that going, and solar is a great technology. But the Department of Energy even states in their documents, which I've read too many of, trust me, lots of coffee reading those damn documents. But basically they've said it's a great alternative resource to complement the existing power structure. Mm-hmm. So they realize, because the problem with solar is currently there's no, and hydrogen is the same way, there's no really good way to store it.
Right.
They can't capture solar energy and actually put in a battery and let it sit there and keep the energy. That's what needs to happen. They need to have a surplus solar to offset days not much solar. Well, they can't do it. There's no way to do it right now. If I tell you what, if we ever solved the battery storage problem with solar power, we'd have solar grids all over this world.
Well, because supposedly the same guy that developed the lithium battery, his think tank has a new glass technology that's like quadruples the storage. But you know how this stuff is. It's till Samsung or somebody decides they want this tech to come out. It's not coming out, because then you got a cell phone that you charge one time and and next year you charge again. They don't want that stuff. And whatever, if it's crazy talk or not, till it meets, like the documentary What Killed the Electric Vehicle. What killed the electric vehicle was fuel companies, Exxon and all these people bought up the EV companies, the battery tech, and shut it down. Like, till you make them money in some other way, like tech wise, it's not going to matter. And I really think, nuclear is super, I won't say it's super safe. It's safer than it was. All of our plants that we have now are from the 70s. They've proven they can do it a lot better where they don't have to. I forget what I read on it. Was like the way they cool the rods now or something completely different. It's I won't say it's safe because I'm not a physicist, but they've changed that, and yet our country won't allow that. But yet our country still wants us to use the electricity that does better than anything else.
I was really surprised in this. They're building a new nuclear plant in Wyoming.
Really?
I was shocked. I shared it on my Facebook, and people have like on the radar on this deal, but the Department of Energy actually
because they're not. It's hard to get the permit to do it.
They signed up the permit.
Nice.
They signed the permit off. And they talked about how that nuclear is the future, and so I think it's interesting that they're going to talk about they're building a nuclear plant in Wyoming. If you can Google it, Wyoming nuclear plant. I think
nice.
I still exists. Wyoming nuclear power plant. And if you go under news tab, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett want to bring new kind of nuclear power to Wyoming. Small Wyoming town hoping to get nuclear power plant. That's 4 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Yeah, it was Gillette, I think it was. No. But yeah, nuclear power plant approved. Let me try approved as my search term. But yeah.
So Gillette, you said the best the nuclear can get? Is that their slogan? What was the Razor ad?
Yeah, there's so Bill Gates actually behind it too. He's talking about Glenrock, his next nuclear plant. So they've announced, Department of Energy has announced that they were going to build a nuclear plant in Wyoming. Bill Gates Foundation, which everybody hates Bill Gates for whatever stupid reason, has been behind it. They're talking about they want to propose nuclear plant, hundreds of jobs, and I believe they it's July 4th, 2021. There's just news on this, but let me go back to
because I remember the Obama administration, they were trying to get some plants done then, and they were very like, nope, not going to happen. They didn't want to issue permits. And
yeah, so Natrium, Office of Nuclear Energy, energy.gov, Natrium reactor at retiring coal plant in Wyoming. Air Power recently announced plans. Incredible opportunity for the state receives 90% of its electricity generation from fossil fuels. So they're going to build it. The Department of Energy is extremely excited about this project and investing nearly $2 billion to support licensing, construction, and demonstration of first of its kind reactor by 2028. So yeah, they're building a new nuclear plant in Wyoming, which just blows my mind. But Wyoming needs it. Wyoming is in trouble.
Yeah,
Wyoming is in huge trouble because Wyoming is a coal state. Every time when I moved here, there's trains going down the train tracks, and every train they figured it was $1 million.
Wow.
Because they had these things loaded with coal going down the power plants down the Mississippi area. I forget. I think it went down Mississippi, all the trains, and you literally get stopped 4, 5, 10 times a day by trains. But you were pissed off about it, but also like that's the economy, right? So I mean, you got mad, but you didn't get mad. I mean, it's kind of situations. And now trains have decreased. I have a lot of friends who work in the railroads industry, a lot of family, and their jobs they're getting furloughed like crazy. Wyoming does not exist as a state without fossil fuels, without coal.
Yeah.
When the recession hit, a bunch of auto workers from Detroit went to Glenrock, and Gillette was a huge town. They couldn't build housing fast enough in Gillette because all these auto workers came in to work at the coal mines.
Wow.
Because you still need energy during the recession in 07, 08.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, Gillette became a boom town overnight, and that's the way Wyoming's been. Wyoming's been oil and gas and coal. It's always been a boom or bust state.
I'm curious with obviously this is just kind of a general question, but with the issues of COVID and everybody leaving California and some of these bigger states, has your state seen a increase in out of towners?
No, that the most stuff I've seen on that has been Montana.
Yeah.
Montana's exploding with out-of-towners because California's gotten so rich. I mean, I love California. I go to SoCal a couple times a year, and I'm not bragging. It's part of business. I travel too much, but I go to SoCal. I've been in LA. I haven't been to San Francisco at all, And I have this secret camping trip in my head planned to go to Redwoods up at there in Northern California.
Mhm.
I mean, those son bitch trees.
Yeah, yeah,
I gotta see them, man. Those things are massive. And I love California. California is a great state, but the problem is it's become too expensive.
yeah.
It's become everything's so expensive. Like electricity rates, like I said earlier, are insane. And so I think there'll be some balancing out as years go by. But big influx of people in Colorado. Colorado's exploded because of pot. And not to get so I voted for pot. I think it's their war on drugs has been
Yeah.
misled. I have friends in the drug task force. I tell them all the time, I'd much rather go after cocaine, go after but not what's that one they take? The heroin. They take something else that they can make in a little lab, whatever. But they go after that because Montana's blowing up. Montana is and I grew up in Michigan, so when you grow up in Michigan, everything in Michigan is Michigan.
Right.
Michigan's the greatest state ever, and everything.
Oh,
In
I know.
Michigan is Michigan.
I married into Michigan, so I understand.
Right, you get this Michiganitis. But I've now lived more of my life across the Mississippi than I have West Mississippi than I have East Mississippi. I'll tell you that if I could live in Idaho or Montana, I'd pack my bags right now.
Yeah.
Northern Idaho is just flipping gorgeous. With my job, and the wife and kids and stuff, there's some factors. Like I can live wherever I want, but this asterisk on that.
That's the great thing about YouTube is like you just need you can take that bookshelf behind you or whatever it is, CD shelf, you could put it behind you somewhere else, you know? And
I know, but I still get vehicles, and I get vehicles delivered. I still need a major airport. I will say I did fly out of Boise, I don't know, about 3-4 years ago, and I was immediately first class upgraded. I had no status because nobody flies out of Boise, right?
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
that first class out of Boise, but it's like Boise to Denver, Denver out. I mean, that kind of situation. But those states are amazing, and the natural beauty there is fantastic.
I
people that know me-
love your I love when I went into Jackson Hole and all that, dude. That's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
you can't, you know, here in Tennessee we think, oh, we got hills and mountains. No. You don't have anything.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like, do you
I
see
always get
that?
this email. Oh, I get emails from GM saying, "Come to the wilds of Wyoming and enjoy Jackson Hole," and I'm like, "Dude, Wyoming's 20 miles that way."
Yeah.
Like I was in Wyoming on Tuesday for groceries.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not. You know, I just laugh about that because it is great. I mean, there are. Wyoming is fantastic. I always dream about. So I was just watching this. I watch a lot of Alaska adventure shows. Others Catch, big fan of that. I'm a big fan of like the Alone shows. A little bit. Those guys get kind of weird, but big fan of the hunting shows out there. They're trapping. I mean, I've literally thought about trapping.
Did you watch the one that was the last Alaskans?
Yes, I've seen that
Oh
one.
my God, that was fantastic.
I see all those because I just enjoy the lifestyle. And I was actually watching one right now. I was watching a HGTV.
Wait, this is the guy that enjoys that lifestyle, but yet he has to play golf about 10 times a week.
Well, that's true. But I built them on course. But these people were like moving into Scotland. So they're world travelers who are going to live in Scotland and the Scottish Highlands.
Wow.
And so in my mind, I'm watching these guys build this house. I'm thinking, if you could tell me how you get internet, I'd be there. Just tell me how you get internet. Because all I do these days is stream.
Yeah.
And I respond to I'm like, I have no cable service in the house.
Can you imagine doing this? Like, so you've done this, you know, I'm fairly new to this. Could you imagine 5 years ago somebody saying, "Hey, you're going to do most of your interviews streaming now"? Like you would have been like, "No, I have to fly there." What do you mean?
No, I will say that COVID was good. A lot of people got screwed by COVID, and restaurants got screwed. COVID for me was really good because I learned that I could do interviews now from my house.
Yeah.
I learned that I could reach out to Ford and GM or whatever and say, "I want to interview your engineer about this," and they will set it up.
Yeah.
And it's a half an hour of their time, my time. And the reality, if you've done these things, I can do an intro and outro in like 20 seconds, take the interview, stuff together, bam, I'm done.
I could do it from my phone.
Right. I mean, you can record the conversations and publish it. So
Yeah.
COVID has changed the world, and it's really benefited consumers because now you're not having to drive your compliance vehicle working back and forth all the time. You don't need the little small compact car, and so you're actually going to buy vehicles you want, which is like a full size truck or go camping with or an SUV. The campgrounds. I was talking with this guy about. He was saying that the campgrounds were full, and that was all fake news. I'm like, dude, I've been camping this year. They are legit full. Like campgrounds are insane right now. national parks are closing down entrances because camping's never been hotter. And off the grid camping with this hybrid I have that I'm going to sell. Off the grid camping is going to be the next growth model because overlanding was this interesting, fun concept.
Yeah.
But now, if you like, I told the wife we're gonna go buy a toy hauler next year, which I think will actually be a business write-off, which is gonna be kind of funny. But
IRS, you didn't hear that,
right? But I'm gonna tow with it. All my vehicles I'm gonna tow with it. I'm gonna do videos on all that stuff. And my biggest question is, how do I get Wi-Fi to the camper? And people are like, you can't have Wi-Fi when you're camping, whatever. I said, I run a 6-figure business. Yeah. I have got to stay on top of stuff.
Right.
It drives me absolutely insane to be camping, not have Wi-Fi.
Right.
And not that I need to be watching YouTube the whole time or doing whatever. I need to be up on what's going on, responding to comments. I need to be aware of my business. And so,
well, because it's like what I was talking with Tommy last week was, their big thing is they want to be first at everything. And unfortunately with this business, you have to be on your toes 24/7, man. You can get some weird text in the middle of the night. You almost better start responding to it to get that video ready for launch in the morning, or else, like, so when the Nissan Z Proto launched, and I know you're not a big car guy, but for my old Nissan channel, it was big for me. That was a big live stream for me, like probably the biggest live stream I've ever done. I think we had 3,000 or 4,000 in the live stream at one point. It was crazy. At the same point, like, so I did that live stream, then I had to break it up into little things that people could watch. But in the same stream with it was the Navara that they did. So I'm live streaming the Australian stream of this, and then they show a clip of the damn Frontier sitting in the background. And then I had to work that next day, and I didn't go to bed till 1 or 2 in the morning because I'm having to do videos. Like, you have to be.
Yeah.
People think YouTube is like, oh, you just, they think, oh, Dave, you just wanted to do a live stream, so you did it. Well, kind of, but there's prep to this. I had to find topics to talk about. And if there's breaking news, man, it's you, it's TFL, it's Doug DeMuro, it's everybody that needs to eat, to eat.
There's two parts in that. I had a day last week where I edited 4 videos in like 2 hours. And I could take the entire week off, right? I had the videos all lined up, scheduled, right? So we ran this whole series of minivans. Well, it's minivans truck channel, not many views, but they were good videos anyways. I need to knock them out. But I could take the whole week off. But the reality is it's my job is weird. Like, I can play a video game here, right? And I have my laptop open up over here, my messenger open, and I'm checking Auto News, The Drive, Auto Blog, PFL every hour or so to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on. That's my days, kind of back and forth, because you're right. Something breaks, and I've been first on several things, and it makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. Being first, it makes a huge difference. And so, I mean, being right there on all what's going on, that's the big issue. It's interesting. I will tell you this. I listened to. I have half the video done with you and Tommy.
That's a long one. That's a long one.
Well, I will tell you that I learned this secret. People always said that I talk too fast on video, but I will tell you, I watch all YouTube videos at 2 times speed.
Yeah.
I watch every 2 times speed. And so all I did with you guys was I was working at the gym, and I was doing my fat band on the elliptical, and I literally took and ignored the video because you guys were just talking.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a podcast 2 times speed.
Yeah.
And I would have done faster, but that's the max YouTube lets you do. Because I did an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And so I have another hour to go. But I thought it was interesting because lots of good conversation there, but they are always first and then first on many things. They do multiple videos and different things. Mm-hmm. But what's crazy about that is in the YouTube sphere is that they can do a video and they do 4 videos like on some vehicle. And I'll do a video 2 months later, and I'll rank higher than they do in search.
Yeah.
Because it's not always about being first as much as it used to be. It's about, engagement with video, how well the video is doing, how well the video engagement was, how well the video is. And then sometimes the last video you do does better than all the early guys do.
Yeah.
And it's so bizarre. It's such a weird game.
Oh, no, because my breakout video for me was a Bronco video I did in December. I was about to give up on this channel, to be honest. Like, my Nissan one was like making money, and I was like, well, maybe I'm just that guy. And I about gave up, and I had a pissy video, a 2.5-minute video on the Bronco. And suddenly that one video made this channel monetized. I got enough subscriber watch time based on one video, and it's crazy. And I do find it funny. I'll get asked a lot, "Oh man, how easy is it to do YouTube?" My coworker at my normal job, he's looking at cameras and stuff. He's you know, he kind of knows what I do, and he's like, "Oh, I can do that too." And you're like, "Hey, good luck, man, because guess what? When I come home from my 45-hour a week job, I go spend the next 8 hours that night or 6 hours that night right here, like you said. I'm looking at what's trending. What people wanting to talk about? Is there breaking news? Like it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, no, and it takes a while. So I mean, talking about how YouTube grows, I mean, TFL started in like '09,
Yeah.
and when things were not big on YouTube, and he spent a lot of time and energy. And Roman's got a background in on camera video stuff. What crazy connection with Roman and I is that Roman was the TV like on field reporter for a town called Janesville, Wisconsin. He covered that area as a county he covered, and I was born in Janesville, Wisconsin.
Huh, that's
So
funny.
yeah, we have a weird time, and so it's like it's I'm sorry, I saw some flight data. I'm negotiating flights right now with different events I'm going to. Email. Weird.
See,
Yeah.
see the life of the YouTube guy.
Squirrel. Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, I have a lot of stuff going on, but so I mean, there's when you get involved in YouTube, and what I shared the other day, I shared a update from 2018. In 2018, I had what 800 subscribers.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I was hoping to be monetized. So this is August. So it's August 4th, 2018. I was hoping to be monetized in 2 months, and now I have 55,000 subscribers and six-figure business.
Yeah.
But I mean, the lesson there is there's so many trial and errors. There's so many people that start YouTube and end it, and I just enjoy the process of YouTube. I enjoy putting out videos. I get fired up by the ideas. I have a passion for it. A passion for trucks coming in video, and so yeah, I mean that's you have to stay with it, and that's so hard.
Speaking of staying with it, the New York Auto Show got canceled.
Yeah.
Does that make a return ever? Because that's 2 years in a row. You know, people have a short attention span, and
The thing you have to understand with auto shows is auto shows are consumer events. They're not. I mean, journalists will write it.
but once out
Doesn't-
of sight, out of mind, kind of thing.
I think you still need them. I think auto shows are still relevant. You still want to go touch and feel. I mean, why are cars and coffee so popular?
Yeah.
Why are antique car shows? I mean, you still want to go touch and in the auto show you want to touch antique cars. Never touch antique cars. Never touch.
No, don't do that.
Don't touch. No touchy. But auto shows are still relevant to consumers, and I tell consumers all the time to go to auto shows. If you're shopping for a new car, go to auto shows. It's the one place you just hop in, put your butt in the seat, and a dozen different vehicles, and go. And I love auto shows because as much as trucks seem all the same these days, it's you get a different thought process on trucks when you're in and out of the cab of 5 different automakers at once.
Yeah, you see the little differences real quick.
Right, and so I love the fact I can go to auto show and I can get data. I can go, okay, I have my legs fit better in the rear seat of this one versus the other ones, right? You know, I can. There's just so much you can do at an auto show that, and unfortunately, auto journalists are lazy and they don't take those ideas. But I do a lot of those ideas. Like I had a luck of stroke. I was in Denver for an auto show, which is a small regional event, and Toyota at the time had put power to the new Tacoma. And so I did a video of using a new power seat in the 2020. I get the years messed up. I think it's 2020, a new power seat. And my head was sticking through the sunroof because I couldn't go all the way up. I did this video on it and it blew up like, I don't know, a couple thousand, 100,000 views on this thing. Because it's the only one in the country that had a video on that.
Yeah.
It was a hidden gem, but I knew my audience. I knew what I wanted to do. And so that I think auto shows, from a journalist standpoint, can be good if you are a smart journalist. I think they're great for consumers, and there's more consumers going to auto shows than ever has in the past. It's always been consumer driven. Journalists get a very negative viewpoint towards them because there's a lot of BS with auto shows. From a journalist standpoint,
Oh yeah, Chicago was great when Toyota was serving me champagne. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a game to it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the problem. Auto shows are a game, right? So, uh, oh my goodness, it's tough to explain. Auto shows are like you fly in, you get hotel usually covered, you get airline covered, and you feel an obligation to be at the automaker's event that's covering you, and then you play the game between different automakers, and you're like hugging this person. It's like being a politician. You're like shaking hands and kissing babies, right?
Hmm.
And then you're going to after events, and you're going to after event parties. You're trying
Yours
to make
was
all
yours was better than mine in Chicago. Is all I got to say. You had a better dinner than I did.
I'm a little more gray in the beard industry than you are there, Dave, and a little more experience. And
Oh,
so
I'm
yeah,
just I'm just messing.
I
I'm
get a
just
lot
messing.
more events. I get a lot more invites, and so that's hard to manage though, because it's like you're doing these other invites and stuff. So auto shows are difficult for journalists because you're trying to get work done, you're trying to network, and then then I'm always in Chicago. I'm always going to that after hours event up till 2 a.m. on next flight next day, and I'm flying out. I mean, it's just kind of what happens at events. But I will say that events still will matter
Well, so
for a variety of
New
reasons.
York canceled. Detroit was coming up too, and that's an iffy
That's
one.
the big question. The big
Yeah,
question is: does Detroit Motorabella happen? Motorabella happen? Does L.A. happen November? Does SEMA
I don't see
happen?
L.A. Like I
Does
think
SEMA
SEMA.
happen?
I think SEMA does.
SEMA's Vegas. I mean, everything happens in Vegas, right?
Yeah. The only thing I can see with like the way the world is right now, I mean, like everybody, you watch the numbers and you hope that it mellows out and it's just like a little spike here and then it goes away. Um, but Vegas like needs people. Like those are one of those towns that gets hit so hard by tourism is what it runs it. And last year had to cripple that place. And there's a lot of pressure on the governor there to keep things open. Um, New York is New York. It's expensive whether they get the first tourist guy in there or not. Detroit, I that's an iffy one, man, because their poor governor has been under fire for everything she does now. Um, does
It,
she
it,
shut it
it, it,
down, or and then you've got
right.
all the manufacturers, GM and everybody's like, hey, they have to be putting pressure. Hey, we need to build cars. Hey, our people wear a mask, but we need to be building cars still.
Well, then you have automakers questioning whether or not they're going to do auto shows. Like Toyota now is doing their own offsite auto shows,
Yeah,
and because I always think it's funny with Toyota. Growing up in Michigan, I never even saw Toyota. I got in this industry, got lucky by a couple stories I did, and now you look at things, and Toyota is like one of the world's largest automakers, depending how
mm-hmm.
you do the numbers. Toyota's got FU money.
Yes,
They could just say we're gonna have our own event. They flew in 60 of us in Austin 2 months ago for their own auto show, like on their headquarters, and they could just do that. Like it doesn't matter. Toyota's got the money to do whatever they want to do, and the head guy of that PR team, he's got the balls to do whatever he wants to do. So it's they. I mean, Toyota could pull out auto shows. What's it? McLaren pulled out. Porsche's pulled out. I mean, different automakers are pulling out at not doing auto shows, and it hurts consumers, right? I mean, not doing press events, but
yeah.
yeah, it auto shows are really interesting right now, and I'll be curious to see what happens. What happens when Rivian gets bigger? What happens when Tesla? Does Tesla doesn't have a PR department? What happens when Tesla comes under fire? Have no PR department anymore? I mean, that's a
Yeah.
very interesting point. Um, it'll be interesting to see how the industry changes. COVID has changed everything, for better or worse. It has changed everything.
Well, I think SEMA probably and unless for some god sakes reasons it just like spikes overnight. I think SEMA happens, but definitely I think uh, New York, LA's like I think once New York and LA seem to do what each other does, so I think it's gone. And then maybe does your local like Nashville have a little, we have an auto show here, not that it's much to cover, but do the little hometown ones still kind of do something or
Well, because auto dealers put those on,
oh, of
and
course,
dealers
yeah.
need those. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think they still happen because auto dealers need them because it's a stress free environment for that happening. But I think LA's done. SEMA, I have been to SEMA many years. I do not like Vegas. I've been on the record saying that many times. Vegas is a shithole. Sorry, it's cussing your live stream,
Oh,
but
I
it
I'm
is.
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure it's okay, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, it just is. It's just you get the nasty smells, the drunks, the cocaine going on, the hookers, the
Man,
cards,
where are you
the
hanging
cards
out,
they
dude?
flick,
Jesus.
the cards they flick. They say, "Come call the call girl," whatever. I had a guy that went there and he came back. He's like, "Dude, this girl like gave me her card, wanted me to call her, go to a room, and this." That. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's what
well,
they
yeah,
do.
she wanted money. I mean, it's like, oh my god. And then, so what I used to do is used to fly into Vegas like at 7 a.m., walk around SEMA for 7 hours, and get on the shuttle and fly back to Denver.
Yeah.
That's what I would do with SEMA
Well,
because
that's a nice
SEMA
flight then
is
too. It's not a
well,
bad
SEMA's
flight.
impossible to cover. They have added another building now too.
Yeah.
SEMA's for a one person outlet is impossible to cover. It's absolutely impossible. And there's no, I mean, you can't make contacts there. You can't do stuff there. I mean, when I was working for Four Wheeler as a freelancer, they would send their entire team. Four Wheeler, JP Magazine, Truck Trend, Motor Trend would send their entire team to cover the SEMA because they had so many pieces there. So I mean, it makes SEMA makes no sense. It's an industry exclusive show that's really open to the public. I mean, that's what it is. And
Oh yeah.
so, besides photos of these tricked out trucks and things that people spent way too much money on, there's no benefit to going to SEMA. And my argument now with me and the channel is, do I cover SEMA? Do I cover overlanding? Do I cover off-road? I mean, those are thoughts in my head because I need to keep growing and not be stuck in my ways. And so where does that go?
That's when you send one of your other people.
Right, but
how many trunks can Jill fit in SEMA? That's your next video.
I can't. Yeah, if SEMA, if Jill goes to SEMA, she get lost.
Well, she's so small.
SEMA
Yeah.
just. I mean,
She's a loser.
I mean, yeah, Jill's 5 foot. She's the same size as my. She's legitimately the same size as my 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Actually, I think my 11-year-old now is taller than she is. But yeah, she would get lost at SEMA. There's no way I can cover SEMA. So there's always a game what I'm going to do, but I don't know. It's such a hard thing right now as a journalist to understand where to go. And because, like I said earlier on, you have these people talking about F-50 Lightning, and we compare it to the F-50 Hybrid, and it's just, I don't know. It's weird marketplace right now.
Yeah, and for me, like I came in at the weirdest time. Like I wish now that I would have just converted to All Terrain Nation like 2 years before.
I think I told you that.
I know you did. I know you did. But like for me, like it was like, oh, cool, Chicago Auto Show, my first big auto show to cover, and then it's like, oh, and then 3 weeks later the world shut down. It's like, great, thanks. But you know what? I will say this though, like we were saying earlier, it's led to innovation. Like I probably would have never done a live stream before that. I mean, me and Danny always had fun doing the podcast, but it's led to a lot more fun things. But all right, so guys, that's damn near 3.5 hours for me. And
oh Jesus,
yeah,
3.5 hours.
Yep.
You were bored today.
I seriously am testing new times out for this, man, because I see. So what makes me think this? I love movie news, comic book news, stuff like that. I just love that, and I see all those guys like get huge numbers at noon, or 1, 2 my time, and I'm like, I'm just gonna see what happens. And so thanks for everybody that's joining. Thanks for Tim for joining in. For whether Grumpy Bear there felt like he got all of his negativity towards the EV market out or not, I don't know. But
I don't know. I don't hate it. I just don't understand it. Like, how would a Ford Maverick or Ford Hybrid be the same comparison to a Lightning?
You can't convince those people, man. The people that want to like that, they want to like it. It's like, come on, man. Why do people wear Nikes over some Walmart brand tennis shoe? Who knows? It's the same materials, probably made in the same place. It's just you just accept it and move on. So there you go, guys. I appreciate everybody who did the super chats. I appreciate Tim for stopping by because that was unexpected and fun. Next Monday we have our Bronco life will be on the Bronco show, and I assume I can do one next Friday till the wife says no or yes. I don't know, man. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, you guys know the drill. It does not matter what you drive.
Not matter what you drive.
Because this is your All Terrain Nation. What are we, Tim?
We are out of here.
Peace, everybody. Love y'all.
Peace.